a
There was
second.
no,
You
no,
did it. You
no,
know how many
no,
people were killed? You
bro.
know how many
China.
people the CCP
Okay,
killed?
let me
61 million
okay.
people.
Yes.
61
Okay.
million, dude. The Earth hasn't produced that many people. Jeez.
Bro, wait a second. Where did this guy come from? They did the same thing in Russia. And
Okay, so but you have to take into consideration that Jesus was also an incel. So he didn't exactly,
Tú estás
you know what
pasado,
I mean?
bro. Tú estás pasado, bro.
Dude, dude, he was celibate. And he hung around a bunch
I
of
don't.
12 guys who were also celibate.
Okay. Where I reset it, so the podcast is starting
The
now.
funeral. Did you
No,
guys watch the funeral?
no. Did you watch the
No,
funeral?
are you joking?
Yeah, I just finished watching it.
Oh, I was
Is
We
gonna
had
ask
people
you,
over.
like,
is that
what is the sentiment in Jersey? Because they're weird over there, right?
No, the sentiment here is everybody loves the queen.
oh, you guys
So do
got
you
a
guys
bank
have a bank
holiday?
holiday today?
Yeah, we got a bank holiday. We put roses, flowers in the square. There's loads of loads of flowers. Like people are a bit down.
I think that the funniest bit of it to me is always gonna be the response of like my work colleagues. Because literally, as soon as they announced that, because basically I was in Spain. Um,
Mm.
I was in
Oh
Spain. I
yeah.
flew. I flew back. I flew back from Spain, and they hadn't announced it yet. And then as soon as I landed in England, everyone's internet came on and like the notifications came on, and it was like ding ding, like the Queen is dead, and everyone on the plane was like, this girl in front of us started crying. She was like, oh, I was like, bro, for the Queen.
Now
That
here everybody was like, "R.I.P. the queen," but thank God we
yeah,
got a bank holiday, man.
yeah, no, but then that's what I mean. Like as soon as she died, like my work group chat, the people were like, rest in peace, rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth. By the way, how's this going to affect our working situation at the moment? Like, are we getting any days off? Are we? What's happening?
I'm so
This other
sad.
girl was like,
Please, can I get days off?
the, our boss was like, at the moment, it's going to be business as usual. And this girl was like, I can't believe this. I'm a royalist and I'm very affected by the queen's passing. So I'm hoping that like something will be discussed or something because I'm very distraught by this news. And I was like, bro, these people, that girl just died and they're already trying to get a day off work. It was literally like 5 minutes, 5 minutes, and they're already trying to get a whole day off work. And
I
then
was
finally,
impressed. I was impressed with the uniforms, man. Like the costumes that they wore. Like there must have been 300, 400 different like costumes,
Oh, I've not seen any. I saw like the ceremony of
honestly,
like
which was freaking amazing. And a lot of people, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's stupid, monarchy and all this kind of stuff." But I'm like, look, that beats communism by miles. Like that's the only thing stopping the UK from going full commie
yeah, but it's
is
not like they have
that.
any power. Like
I don't agree with Miguel.
these monarchs don't have any
If you would have
power or
seen the
anything.
procession, if you would have seen the procession today, that is the definition of power. Like every single head of state of the whole entire world was there, literally. Like you had all the ex prime ministers, you had the all the European people, like every single cocksucker that's a politician that is has any weight in gold in terms of credibility and in terms of political power was there.
Yeah, but for
So,
PR,
dude,
not for
that's
anything.
power. That's power. That's power.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I agree that that's power for sure. It's
The
the
only people
collective.
who weren't there was Putin, Xi Jinping, and Kim Jong Un.
and the Indian guy.
The prime minister from India was there as well.
I just find it
Yeah,
funny that you actually watch that. I mean, I could never.
Dude, if you would have seen, dude, when you see how these people are dressed, like
Was Trump
gold
there?
and like this is interesting because apparently Biden was there as well. I didn't see it,
Yeah,
but
I
apparently
saw
Biden
that
was there as
Biden was
well.
there.
no,
But
Biden was
I think
there.
Trump was
Biden was
there
there,
as well. I'm not sure because
and
he was friends with the Queen before he was president as well.
Zelensky and his wife were also there,
Were they?
yeah,
Zelensky.
or Elensky. You can't say Zelensky anymore.
So the thing
Una
is,
pregunta.
the thing
Una
is, that's
pregunta.
power, man.
Would you with Zelensky's wife?
Dude, it depends on the day,
Mm,
man.
She's not bad. She's not bad though.
no, she's an actress, right? I think she's an ex-actress or something like this.
Yo le hago un favor.
Like a model or something. I think she's a model.
Who's the model?
I think
Zelensky's wife?
Zelensky's wife.
Zelensky. Zelensky.
Zelensky, because
Hmm.
Z was canceled after the invasion. So you can't say Zelensky, you need to say Zelensky. Anyways, I disagree with Miguel. I agree on the part that is the power structure of the collective West. Yes, that's something that
I
I
don't know how
totally
to
agree
spell
with
that.
100%. But
But you don't agree that it's like it's what's stopping communism
wait,
in the UK and all that.
no,
you're saying you agree that they don't have power.
no, I agree that they have that's the
Like
representation
that is
of
literally the definition of
the
power, man.
yes, that I agree 100%.
So
That
legally
no, I
legally
disagree
speaking,
with the
when you join the army, just before you say that,
okay.
legally speaking, when you join the army in the UK, in any position, royal force, police, you know what your main responsibilities? Not your main responsibility, your sole responsibility.
To
Anything to
protect
do
the
with the
crown,
government,
right?
It's
to
the
protect
same.
the queen,
It's the same
to protect the crown.
responsibility that Justin Trudeau has, because he also pledged allegiance to the Queen
Yeah, but
when
Canada is a free country. When you
I
join the
know.
police, when you join the police force, or when you join the army in the
No,
U.S.
but
or Canada, you're doing
the
it to
oath
protect the people. Like in America, if you join the army, your goal is
exactly.
to protect the people.
But
So
when
at any point, if
Justin
anything goes
Trudeau was
against the
signed into
people,
power,
your
he didn't
responsibility
pledge
is to
his
protect
I
them.
allegiance
think
to the
you
people
guys
of
are
Canada.
disagreeing over a separate issue. Gabriel agrees with you about the power bit. He disagrees
Yes,
with you about it being like the last defense of the communists coming in. You
exactly,
know what I mean?
exactly,
That's what
exactly.
Dude,
he.
the problem is that when I was watching that, I was thinking about how would this be viewed in, let's say, in a communist country like in China, or in a country where you have a head of state like Russia, where Putin's in power, and they're watching
It's
this, and
it's
they're
all
seeing
it's
all these people, and this whole thing got put together, and this huge massive procession, and there's loads of money involved, and there's thousands of people watching, and people giving flowers and all this kind of stuff, right? So you're watching that from that perspective, from those people that are all around the world. How do you turn the UK into a communist country like Russia was, or like China was, because China isn't communist anymore, or like Cuba was back in the days, with the monarchy still in place?
Bro,
It's pretty much impossible.
did you not see Chavez's funeral? It was pretty fucking similar to the Queen's thing.
but I disagree with
Everyone,
Miguel. I find
everyone
it
putting
like
flowers.
comical.
They did
The analogy, the analogy is a very funny analogy. It I quite is actually I don't know. It's I don't want to say something that I shouldn't say.
what are you gonna say? It's retarded.
No, 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 no. I'm not gonna use a word like that. No, I'm just saying the analogy
I
is
don't understand what your argument is, Gabriel. I don't understand what your argument. What I'm
no.
saying is,
I'm
as long as the queen, as the crown, not the queen because she's dead, but as long as royalty exists in the United Kingdom, there's literally no
no.
way that they can
That,
become a communist state.
no,
Okay,
Because
okay,
but
because
we're
because
pretty
that's
we're
what
people
I
pretty
find
much a
because
comical.
the
communist state
people who
No,
are
already.
well,
oppressed
I
because
find very comical.
no
It's
because the
very
people
it's
no because the people who are oppressed in that system are going to turn around and say, wait a second, we're all oppressed, but why do we still have a monarchy?
I don't understand
You
the
see, you
analogy.
think people
It's
are
very
gonna?
strange.
You think if people were starving and they didn't have any food, and they were doing lines like to get a piece of like a piece of bread, because that happened in China and in Russia as well when they became communist.
And that happened in the
Do you
UK
think
as well.
those people are gonna go get flowers
Yeah,
to the
but
queen?
that also happened in the UK, and they also had a monarchy.
What do you mean?
Well, that the people didn't have anything to eat for. Like
Ex-
historically, those
and
are
then who
fact.
do you
Those
think was organizing those
facts are
food banks?
history.
Who do you think was organizing those food banks? It wasn't the Chinese Communist Party or the English
I
Communist
know.
Party. It was literally
No.
the royal house with together with the state that were putting that thing together. That's what I mean.
Okay.
You either have the
I don't
Chinese,
understand.
the
No, I don't
CCP.
understand what you say. You understand what I mean, but I don't understand what you mean. Actually,
I think
What I
what
mean is, if you go to China, if you go to China today, China has the equivalent of the Queen, just that it's Xi Jinping. He comes in his car and he's got his big
yeah,
thing and he's got, yes,
yeah,
he is
yeah.
literally the Queen version for the Chinese people. So every country
Okay.
that you go to needs to have that sort of that that
Yeah.
that that,
A
that
power
system of
My
figure.
only my
that
only
system of
point to all
power.
this would be: do you not think that the UK is pretty much already a communist country?
Exactly. That's what I disagree with. What I disagree is
No, no,
with the
no, no,
notion that
Are you
the
serious?
monarchy is like
not at all,
the
man, not at
monarchy
all.
is like preventing like people
Bro, I
to
get it's like
go
No,
down.
you're getting
Uh,
confused. You're getting confused. I think you're getting confused because you're in your mind. You're saying, "Oh, we have all these leftist policies, and shouldn't we not have any of these leftist policies because we have
no, not at all. Not
a
at all. I'm
monarchy?"
not.
And I'm
no,
saying,
I'm
look,
just saying that it's
No,
pretty much
not at all.
it's
just
pretty
because
much
the
like
monarchy are in bed with the status quo, which is, we need to
I,
apply the same system
I'm not
across the
saying
globe.
anything of that. I'm just saying that we're pretty much communism light at this point, to be honest. I mean, I'm not a big earner and I get taxed about 40%. You know what I mean?
I don't
Exactly.
think the
So
thing is
Exactly.
I don't think you're the definition of communism. I don't think you understand what the definition of communism
do you
is.
mean communism in the sense of in the third world sense, communist?
Because for me, communism is, first of all, you need to have a party which everybody answers to. You don't have that in the UK, first of all. Second of all, you need to have a system of redistribution of wealth, which you don't have in the UK. Right now in the UK, if you want to become a multimillionaire and you have the
Um,
the the means to do that
oh,
and to become a multimillionaire, no one's going to stop you. The state is not going to come and
That's
say,
true. That's true.
sorry, you're not allowed to be a multimillionaire. They're not going to say that. They don't give a fuck. As long as you pay your taxes and as long as you play ball with them and as long as you put the
but
little flag
but
thing on your
but
corporation or
Miguel,
whatever,
I
you're
mean,
fine. You're
that,
good. But
no, but
the same thing cannot be said in China. In China, if you
that's
want to make
no,
money, you
that's
have to go and you have to say it with the Chinese Communist
no, but
Party and you have to do an
mm,
agreement and all that kind
mm,
of stuff.
I think that actually sounds quite silly. Actually,
Well, dude,
No,
that's
but
the
he
truth,
does have a
man.
anytime.
point though. Like, can you
That's the
become a
truth.
million? Can you
No,
become like
like if I no, when I hear people talking like this, I feel like they haven't traveled.
so
It's
you can
like
become a millionaire in China, basically.
I'm not saying.
China,
Listen,
no,
wait. I'm not saying you
wait a
can't
second,
become.
wait a second,
Wait,
wait
wait,
a
wait,
second.
wait, wait, wait,
Okay,
wait.
wait.
Before you say that,
no,
because
you
you're
could
getting
become a
confused.
millionaire in China.
I'm
You
not
can become a
saying you
millionaire
can't.
in
I'm
China,
not saying. Listen, I'm not saying that you can't become a millionaire in China.
but
What
you
I'm
have to
saying is that
have the
if you
government. Yeah,
become a millionaire in China, you have to be in bed with the CCP.
You can't wrestle
The
that.
CCP is not. The CCP is
Again,
not going to
I
allow
again
you. The
again
CCP is
I
not going to
find
allow
that
you to become a millionaire if you don't sit on the table with them and
yeah, again I
negotiate with
find it
them.
I find it quite silly. Like the I don't know the perception.
What do you find silly? The fact that you have to sit down with the CCP if you want to be a millionaire in
Mm,
China? Because that's a
uh,
fact.
I
Because it's
think
the same in
the
Cuba, it's the same in Venezuela, it's the same in any country where
yeah,
they
but
had communism.
the notion that Western countries don't suffer of the same like the cartels and lobby and
But
all
we're
the
not
how the
saying
fee
that.
structure
We're not saying that there isn't
wait a
fascism.
second,
We're not
wait
saying
a second, wait a second. The only things that change are semantics, but
exactly. In a way,
the
yes,
systems
semantics and some
the
systems.
systems are identical. And before you cut
They're
me
not
off,
identical. They're
before you
definitely
cut
not
me off, that you
identical.
said before you say that, because every time is before you say that. China was the last year and in the last previous years, they have registered more billionaires than any other country in the world.
Yeah, and
Per
they're all magically
and wait,
somehow
and last
connected
year,
to the
no,
Chinese Communist Party. In some weird way.
but
All of them. There's not one
Miguel,
single billionaire
that's
in
why I
China that
say
doesn't have his hands
I understand
in the in it's stuck into and you
exactly,
cannot
and
say
that
the same thing.
yes, so exactly, and then I find it quite silly and quite ridiculous actually, to hear it like comparing it to the Western side when it's identical. I mean, you have the whole cartel of Hollywood. All the celebrities that become famous are
But
embedded
they're
in a
not rich.
structure. You know, corrupt. Okay, they're not
But they're
rich.
not rich.
But
Celebrities
you know,
aren't rich, dude.
okay, Bill Gates, Oprah Winfrey, they're all part of of what they call
But
the deep state,
I'm not
of what they
talking
can
about.
call.
I'm not
It's the
talking
same
about.
system. It's exactly
Wait,
No,
wait,
the
wait,
no.
wait, wait, wait.
identical system.
If
They
they're
go
not
against the
rich,
party
if they're
line.
not rich, what do you consider rich then, Miguel?
No,
What's
but
up?
No,
I talk
I'm
Bill
talking
Gates,
about I'm talking
Warren
about a
Buffett,
different thing.
What
Bill
do you
Gates, Warren
what are
Buffett,
you
I'll
talking
give you
Elon
an
about?
Musk.
example. I'll give you
They're
an
all
example that you will never see in China. I'll give you an example that you'll never see in China. The My Pillow guy.
I don't know
Boom.
who that
That's it.
is.
That's your whole argument destroyed.
Can you elaborate? I don't
Boom.
understand what the My Pillow guy
Well, the
is.
My
You,
Pillow guy is the guy
no,
that supported Trump.
dude, the My Pillow guy
listen,
is literally the most
but
obscure
bro,
person that
maybe
is
you
a
don't follow the news.
multimillionaire.
Maybe
Or
you don't
The
like,
guy,
follow the news
I
that
think a
he
better
was
example would
indicted.
be like John
My pillow
McAfee.
guy, my pillow guy
yeah,
was indicted,
he as well.
and
Yeah.
they're gonna bring him to jail. They're gonna put him in jail. Same like they're gonna put in jail Steve Bannon. So everything that you're talking about, Paulo Navarro. I mean, all the people who were supporting Trump who have money, they're all going down. So I don't know what you're talking about. It's the same structure. It's the same system. Of course,
I wouldn't say
China
I would say it's
is is
comparable, but I don't think it's the same. I think
it's
the difference is that if
no
you're a billionaire in China and you speak out against the government, you're
You're
gonna
disappeared
disappear.
overnight,
You
dude.
disappear.
exactly.
Overnight.
I know.
Whereas
Okay,
whereas
okay. That I'm saying it's the exact same system, but in China is more controlled. That's my whole point. That in China is
well, I
more
mean,
controlled.
So you can't say, dude, the thing
Elon
is that
Musk can come
words
out and
matter.
say,
You can't say it's exactly the same system and then change it because then that doesn't mean exactly.
no,
No,
but
it's a
You
what
can
I'm
it's
say
saying is like
there,
no
you
it's
can say
Elon
there's
no.
Musk.
I'm saying
similarities,
exactly the same system
and
in
there's
the
always
sense
going to
of
be
the levels of.
similarities
I'm
in
saying
political
it's exact.
systems.
Wait, I'm saying it's exactly the same system in the levels of corruption and how corruption
Dude,
works. Because
because
I'm
humans
not
are innately corrupt, but just
exactly exactly.
that's
That's why
just
I
how
say
we are, dude. We're
I
always
would
exactly.
say
evil.
That's
I would say I
okay.
would say it's not
Exactly.
even
That's why I
as
say
corrupt. I would say it's more corrupt in the West.
exactly. I would say
But
that it's
we're
more
not
corrupt than
talking
the
about
West.
corruption. We're talking about how the systems work. I would say
Exactly.
it's
That
even more
I'm
corrupt than.
but that's
I
my
don't
whole
think we're
point.
praising one over the other.
Okay, but my whole point is that the systems are very similar, and to think that a monarchy is going to make a difference because you have
No,
a
what I'm
monarchy,
saying is that
to me is a
what my
man.
whole
What are you
point
talking
was,
about? What are
so
you
we can
talking
move
about?
on to so we can move on
Human
to another point
trafficking,
because that wasn't even a good
pedophilia,
point.
drug
But
drug
just so we can
trafficking,
move on
and
to a different point,
you just need to
my
think about something else. The whole monetary system that the monarchs use
okay, let me ask you a
is
question.
is a scam.
Let me
Is a
ask you a
scam.
question. When Xi Jinping dies, who's gonna take over?
If he would get killed, then
No,
the
no, no,
party
no.
would.
When he dies, not if he's gonna get killed, because that's
No,
different. That's homicide.
oh, wait a
Okay,
second. Maybe you don't understand how the system works. There's going to be elections, and only members
exactly.
of the Communist Party will
Can vote.
uh,
Yeah,
can vote. Okay,
yeah.
and of course they're going to vote for him again for a
Of
third term.
course.
He's
Yeah,
finishing his second term, and
yeah,
he's gonna apply for a
yeah,
third term. If he loses, and then they will vote for somebody else.
yeah. But
Okay,
that's what I mean. But everybody knows right now, like the same like in Russia, that he's in charge. So
of
this
course
whole
he's in charge.
voting thing is just a formality. It's literally just so that they can tell
Of
the
course,
people, look,
but
there's
Miguel, the
democracy or
difference
whatever. But
between. Let me
actually,
explain
but
something
he's
to
in
you. Wait,
charge.
let me
But
explain
that's
something
what
to
I
you.
mean. But when he dies, who's
Difference.
gonna take
Okay,
over?
okay.
Who's gonna take over when he dies?
The
Another
difference between
person? No,
China
just
and the
another
West
random
is that
president.
China.
Another schmuck.
Yeah.
That's what I
Wait,
mean. Another schmuck. So
okay,
in the UK,
Yeah.
it's different in that we already know the guy who was gonna take over 40 years ago.
but
Everybody
that,
knew that Charles
but
was gonna take over when the Queen died, and we know
exactly.
everything about Charles. So
Okay,
you
and
cannot
what
say that that
and
system is exactly the
okay,
same as the system in China, because whoever
but no,
takes
let
over in
me
China,
no.
that guy could be
Actually, it's
either a
worse.
loose cannon,
It's
he could
actually
be more
worse.
conservative,
It's
he could
actually worse.
be a libertarian.
Why?
You don't know. Nobody
Okay,
knows. That guy
it's
could open
actually
up
worse.
China and say, you
Let
know
me
what,
ask you a
China's not
question.
going to be communist anymore.
Okay, why is the king the king historically?
What do you mean? Why is the king the king? Well, do you want
Yes,
the real answer, or do you want a
yes.
conspiracy sort of? The
No,
real
not the
answer is
conspiracy. No,
that
no. I'm talking. No,
family
we're talking about
was elected by God to rule those people. That family was elected by God to rule those people. That's
okay.
why they're
The
royal.
in the
Yeah.
okay.
That's the real. That's the real.
The monarchy was a system that was developed in the feudal age, and
Yes.
the king
Exactly, but
represented
the
the person.
pillar,
No,
what
wait.
glues
Let me
everything
finish.
together is religion.
But let me finish. The king is the person who owns the most land in the country. The biggest ownership of land is the king.
Okay, yeah,
Though that's
because
the
they own
king because
everything.
I own more land than everybody else. The duke is the duke because he owns less land than me, and the
Okay,
lord is
and
the
let
lord
me ask
because
you a
he owns
question.
less
Can
land.
I ask you?
It's about land.
Okay,
Whoever
can I
owns
ask you a
more land
question?
is gonna be the
Let me
king.
ask you a
Is
question. Let me
that's
ask you a
how the
question.
feudal system was.
Who owns all the land in China?
The Communist Party.
The CCP, exactly. So
Exactly.
you're just saying,
Exactly.
who becomes king?
But
Yes, but what
that's
makes the
that's what
CCP
I'm
the
saying,
CCP?
bro. That's
What
what I'm
makes
trying
the
to say.
CCP
It's
the CCP?
exactly the same system. It's the
It's
only thing
not
that changes
exactly the
the
same system
semantics.
because the CCP is put there by the people and the monarchy is put there by God. There's a big, massive difference. That's why
Okay,
you
I
can't
understand.
change it. You can't change it
I
because in China, it's every couple of decades is a different
okay.
schmuck
Let
put
let me
by the people, but
let
it's
me explain to you.
100% corruption. In the UK, you can't do that. It's not the people. God elected this family to
Yeah.
rule these people,
Okay,
and that's it. And it's out of the question. They
okay,
Yeah.
literally the next one in line could be a full retard, and they can't do anything about it. They literally have
okay,
to go with it because they decided this a
okay,
1,000 years ago or a
okay.
hundred, God knows how many years ago.
A thousand years ago, a
So
thousand
it's
years
got
ago,
nothing to
there
do
was
with
wait a
land and all this kind of stuff. It's
wait
got to
a
do with
thousand.
the system that they decided that it's gonna be by God. That's
Okay,
why I say you remove
bro,
the
a
religious
thousand years
aspect
ago.
out of it, and it disappears. And that's why
Okay,
I'm saying for me, it blocks out communism. Because if we go
okay,
full science, full this, full all the people and all this kind of stuff, and you remove all that, they lose all their power, everything, because they
okay.
can't say, "Oh, God, this." What are they gonna
A,
say?
thou- a thousand years ago, China did have a king and China did have a queen. And a thousand years ago, the British king went to China and killed the king and the queen, and they stole
The
all the
emperor.
gold and they stole all the silver.
The
Okay,
difference between an
okay,
empire
okay. The
and a
emperor,
monarchy.
but the ruler. Okay, so you can say whatever you want to say
Yeah, but it's a
about
different
the.
system.
No, no, wait. We're
It's a
talking
different
about
system because the
no,
emperor.
no. Wait. Let me finish my what I'm trying to say. You're saying that the monarchy represents a buffer zone between the people and the communist uh,
And
uh,
communism
regime and
specifically.
communism, right? And I'm saying
Communism specifically.
and I'm saying the same monarchy that you're saying that is here to protect the
They're
British
not
people or
there to
whatever.
protect. I'm not saying they're there to protect. I'm saying
They were the
they
same
serve
people.
as a
They were the
buffer.
same people who went to China, who
Hmm.
stole all the wealth from China, and basically left it China in the state that they are. So
What does that
I don't
have to do
understand
with
this.
the argument that we're discussing? The monarchy is bad. Nobody's saying that they're good. What I'm saying is that they
I'm
serve
not.
as a.
I'm no.
What I'm saying is that they serve as a buffer. They serve as a buffer to 100% full communism like we have in China. The same. So you saying,
I
oh, they're
understand what
exactly
you're
the
saying.
same thing.
Yeah,
They're systems of power, and I'm saying it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. You couldn't have
they
a
are. They
you
are.
couldn't have a United
They are.
Kingdom Communist Party and then have the monarchy aligned with that. It just wouldn't work. And we saw what happened in Russia specifically. As soon as they tried that, they said, no, we have to kill all these motherfuckers. So they went there, they got the czar and his family, and they killed all of them because you can't have both systems work together because they both serve the same purpose. So, yes, they're the same in that they both do the same, they both have the same role,
Yeah.
but they're different in that one of them is maybe more, I don't know, palatable, palatable to the human
Palatable, yeah.
psyche. You know what I mean? Because the
I
last thing
mean
you
now
want is
is now.
communism, because communism
I mean,
is just basically what
but
we saw in Cuba
for
and
me,
what
it's
we saw
like
in
wait a
Venezuela.
second. I know, but bro,
Humans are
it's
retarded, man.
the
And as soon
argument
as
that your argument is uh the monarchy is good because at least we're not gonna become like them,
I never
right?
said good,
Okay, wait.
I just said that they
I
serve
mean,
as a buffer to communism.
yes,
And if you want
because we're not
communism,
gonna go
pure
down that.
communism,
I'm not gonna
You're
go
never
down
going to
that
be
road.
able to have that. It doesn't. It won't never fit in with the monarchy, and I think that's a good thing. I'm not saying that they're good or that they're
But
nice
it's
people or
easy.
whatever.
It's I know, I understand, but it's easy to say. It's easy to say that now, after you guys already killed the kings and the queens from around the world and
Ex-
stole their gold and stole their silver.
Exactly,
You
exactly.
understand? And then
Yeah,
say, and
okay,
then point
but
the
wait a
finger and
second.
say,
Who killed
it's good that
who
we,
killed the French monarchy?
it's good
Who
that
killed
we
the
have this
French
system.
monarchy?
Wait a second.
Who killed the
It's good that
French
we have a
monarchy?
system because we're not going to become
Yeah,
like
yeah,
them.
but who killed the French monarchy?
The French.
Exactly. So the French have no
It's,
excuse. The French could literally go communist tomorrow.
mm,
100% communist, and there's not a single monarch that would stand in place and say, "Stop this." They don't have that.
Yeah.
actually,
Same in
the
Portugal. You can't do that in Spain.
But I have a question. Can't they just elect like a communist prime minister? And then the prime
They
minister
already
is.
did. There's
Oh, so.
communists. There's dude. Labor is
bro,
pretty much
that
communist
Yeah,
by
so
this
then that's what I
by
mean.
by
So
this
then it
point. You know
doesn't
what I
really
mean?
no,
matter.
Even the
bro,
so-called conservatives,
this
even the
is
so-called
so,
conservatives,
I,
they're
They're all
all like
man,
communists
they're
now.
this is
they're
so
so far gone to the
mind
left.
blowing. It's
They're
so mind blowing.
probably
I the French Revolution was 100% an operation run by the UK, by the Masons from the UK working together with the Masons in France. 100%. There's undoubtedly
but
there's
nobody's
so
saying
much
that's not
information about
true.
this.
Why is that mind-boggling? Everybody
Wait a
knows that.
second. Wait, how many wars did the UK have with France? They've been in war for thousands of years, and then the suddenly you have a revolution in France where the king and the queen get killed, and the same thing happened in Russia. I
Dude,
mean,
but
it's like
the thing is, if you want to get into this whole replacement of
ah,
monarchy, even the monarchy in the UK right now, they're not even English.
I
They're
know, I
German.
understand that. That's what I was gonna say. My initial thoughts is she's not even the queen, first of all, and the king is not even the king. That's how fucked up your system is, and that's how fucked up you guys are saying. It's like same the money. You guys talking about money and it's the same. It's fake. It's fake currency. It has no value. It's nothing. It's same. It's same like your king and your queen. It's not. They're not even real. They're not even the. You say it's God and God put the king and God put the
The
queen and
No,
system.
he's saying
they're
that
not
I
that's
even
the
supposed to
wasn't
be
system.
talking
there.
about them specifically. I was talking about
I
the
understand,
system.
but that's what I'm
It's
saying.
the
The
same.
system is
It's the same in the U.S. It's the
same
same in the
like
U.S.
in China.
The U.S.
Same like in
the
China.
the
It's a
U.S.
corrupt
created a
system.
system.
It's a corrupt system made up of cartels that hold
But
the
that's
power,
not. But that's what I mean. The system is not
keep the
corrupt.
people
Humans
that
are
keep
corrupt.
keep keep the people in check and enslaved,
Yeah,
and that is the exactly the same thing. It happens in China and it happens all over the world.
I'm a huge supporter of the monarchy system. Not obviously of this monarchy, but I just mean monarchy as a system
Yeah.
is I think is
if you
probably the
if you
best
were
one
to
you can
look at
have.
all the systems,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that it's the best, that it's great, but if you compare all the systems, it's the best one that we have.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
there's only
literally
one
the
reason.
best one that we
There's
have.
only one
And the
reason
only
why.
reason why the UK is the way that it is because the monarchy outsourced the administration of the empire to the to a third party, which is the House of Commons. That's
But
the only reason why. Because if they and they have the right to deny to delegate that power back to themselves if they wanted to, literally,
but
and by law if they
but
wanted
isn't
to.
a true monarchy just
Of
like
No.
a
course.
dictatorship or something like that? Like similarly, it's the same thing. Just that.
Yes, yeah, you could say that, but dictatorship is basically the difference between a monarchy and a dictatorship is that a dictatorship is a political system that is organized by one person
I see.
and controlled by one person and implemented by one person, and whereas a monarchy is a system. It's a system that is supported by the church. The church needs to be involved, and then all the other political systems within that empire have to be involved, and they all have to agree. And that's the
Yeah.
difference with a dictatorship, because in a dictatorship is literally just one guy. The guy owns the church. He owns everything. So I believe that actually a dictatorship is probably more efficient than a monarchy.
Yeah.
So if I had to
Yeah.
choose between a dictatorship and a monarchy, I would choose a dictatorship any day,
I
man.
would still choose a monarchy
That's
just
what you
because
have
of
in
that
China.
system.
In China, you have a
Hmm.
dictatorship.
No,
In
that's
China, you
not
have
a
a dictator.
dictatorship.
In
Yeah,
China, it's
it
a
is a
dictatorship.
dictatorship, but it's a
It is,
dictatorship
yeah.
from a system.
It's a controlled. It's a controlled dictatorship. It's
One
a
question, Gabriel,
international.
how much do you get a month?
What do you mean for
Like
defending the
for
CCP?
yeah, exactly. The CCP
No,
payroll, how much is
I'm
it?
no, I'm not pro CCP. I'm not pro. I'm a no. I'm not pro CCP. I'm a libertarian, 100%.
Cuidado, bro, que te están escuchando.
Oh
CCP.
no,
Boom.
no,
Esos cuartos caen bien.
no, not at all. The facts are the facts. It's not I need to support this guy or I need to support that
I
guy
don't
or
know,
this
but
system is better than that
is it
system.
like
The,
a couple grand a month in
no,
the
I
bank
never
account?
said anything, but I never even said anything pro China. All I
I
said
know, bro. I'm
is that
fucking with you.
the if you historically what the British did to the Chinese, if and I was thinking about this the other day. It's something very interesting. Uh, just change the nations, and imagine that China had done all what the U.S. did in Iraq, in Syria, in Afghanistan. Just think about it. It was Chinese that you would turn on the TV and you see the Chinese went into Iraq and they fucked the shit out of it. They bombed it to hell. They went into Syria. They did this. They went there. They did this. They went here. They did that. And every day you wake up and you see this one and you see what are you gonna think about the Chinese government?
I don't know, bro. It depends. Did the Chinese have two towers that
Okay,
collapsed?
you're gonna think you're gonna think no they were already they were already going into a bunch of wars before that, man.
No, yeah,
And
yeah. I know what your
and
point is.
that
But
in
do you
Vietnam they
think
went
that
into Vietnam. So okay, so that's how the rest of the world, that the Indians, the Chinese, the Russians, that's how they view the US. This is how toxic that country is for the rest of the world. And because you guys are in the West, you guys live in the Miguel lives in the UK, you guys live in the UK, you guys don't understand, you guys could never perceive or understand the actual way
I
how
don't live in
people
the UK,
view
by the way.
Well, Jersey is kind of the
the
UK
Channel
now.
Islands is part of
No,
the
no,
United
no, it's
Kingdom.
not. No, it's not.
It's not anymore part of the
No,
it's
United
no,
Kingdom.
what is it?
we've never been part of the United Kingdom.
Okay, sorry, my mistake. I thought
We're
you
a
guys
You
were
crown
part of
guys
the
are
dependency. We're a
United
crown
Kingdom.
yeah,
dependency. It's different.
Okay,
yeah.
but
The
anyways, you guys are
United
very
Kingdom is
pro. You guys are pro. Like I mean, the UK they also sent soldiers to Iraq, right? To the
Yeah.
yeah,
illegal invasion in
the
Iraq.
United Kingdom, but not Jersey.
Exactly, and nobody said nobody froze your reserves in any bank or anything. Was an illegal war where millions of people died, and nobody said anything. Nobody said a scintilla, and the U.S. did the same thing. So
But
I
but the Chinese are just as guilty, man.
how many wars have how many countries have China invaded? How many countries?
Have you seen the size of China?
Pardon?
Have you seen the size of China? It's all one country. Do you think it was all one country before? These people have been freaking conquering that whole land since the dawn of man. In fact, if you went to see every single Chinese war from every single land that they had to conquer, the problem with why a lot of people think that the Chinese are not just as bad as anyone else
that no that's
is because
I,
their land is so it's so big. There's so much land down there. Literally, if because everybody has this Mercator map entrenched into their psyche, so they think, oh, China's the same size as the U.S. or China's the same. China's huge. China's probably bigger than the U.S. and Russia put together. Russia
I
is
think
ginormous as well.
you need to get on a plane and go to China first
Do you know?
because
But
what you're
am I wrong that China is the size that it is,
no
and
I'm
that
saying that you're saying that they invaded.
there's a
And
whole diversity of ethnicity of different types of Chinese people.
yes,
Exactly. And who conquered all
there's
those people and who united all those people?
The
And
only true Chinese people are the Han.
no that I don't agree with that. I mean
I don't.
it's like saying
dude,
that
I mean, this
The
is what
Han
I
no
mean. This
no
is what I
Chinese.
mean.
no
This is
Question
what
is
I mean. The
no no
problem is that if you look at the UK, if you look at
no
the UK, the United Kingdom is tiny, dude. Tiny.
okay I
And so you
think
have a huge population of highly educated, high IQ, white men who
Wait a
basically
second. Wait a
they have to do something with their time. They're like, okay,
Wait,
let's go,
wait.
let's go
We are
conquer the
talking
whole
about
entire
okay.
world
We are
because
talking
we
about
can.
something entirely different. Okay, we're talking about something entirely different. What I just accused the West of doing is going to another country, killing millions of people, and stealing the resources,
You mean like
and
what the
then
Chinese did to themselves?
and then and then
Where they
leaving.
literally
Oh,
killed millions of people. I mean, if you want to find out how many people the UK and the United States and France, every single Western country put together hasn't killed as many Chinese as the Chinese have killed. Literally.
uh, le-
Like literally, if you
okay.
add
Let me.
everything up,
Okay,
it's still the
wait a
Chinese
second.
still win. The Chinese are
Uh,
still like, we kill more people. You know what I mean? Literally, you
no,
cannot compete with them. You cannot compete with the Russians
bro.
and with the Chinese in the number of people that they killed. That's what I mean because it's so big. It's so ginormous. Like if the English wanted to go on a killing spree, where would they go? To Brentford. Like literally,
Um,
it's tiny, it's minuscule. You can't do it. So they had to go, okay, what did they do?
No,
They
but
went to
I mean,
Africa and they
Gabriel, don't you
conquered all
think
of
that?
Africa. And they
Don't you
went to
think because
freaking
I,
Southeast
I
Asia.
I don't think we're trying to justify like
no,
Western,
this is a it's a very silly conversation,
We're
actually.
just trying to let you see this whole because what you're talking about is
I
actually
mean,
CCP propaganda. That is CCP propaganda. I'm not on the side of the West, and I'm not on the side of
Yeah,
the
I'm not on
CCP.
the side of the
What I'm
West. Like, I'm
saying
not
is,
saying
you
that.
cannot say, oh, America, yeah, America's bad. Everybody agrees that America's bad because they've done
Yeah,
but
stupid things like
but
going into
but
Vietnam,
but
like going into Panama, like going in. But if you compare the amount of people that the Americans have killed since the beginning of the United States compared to what the Chinese people have killed. Jeez, like they wouldn't even get
okay.
close, man. It wouldn't
Let's
even get
start with
close.
the okay.
How many
My
people
ears
did
are
the Chinese Communist Party kill?
listen.
And
My ears
that's
are
the
bleeding.
latest. That's the
My
latest
ears
war
are
they had.
bleeding. My ears are
That's
bleeding.
the latest
I
war
mean,
they had.
it's
That's not even
fucking painful. It's
that's not
painful.
even let's not even go back into history and we look at the
No,
Mongols and all the invasions and the reason why they had to build a ginormous
it's cringe.
huge wall
Now
to
it's
keep
cringe.
people out because they were just killing each other. Like
I think
What?
let's not even
you're
go
gonna
back
give,
then because
Now
those
bro.
it's
numbers
it's pointless.
You're about to give Gabriel an aneurysm.
Logo, I'm in pain, man. I'm in pain, man. It's very difficult to listen to this. It's very difficult.
No, but do you think we're
Well,
excusing like Western expansionism or like
no,
what the
no, no,
United
no,
States
no,
has
no,
done?
no, no. Oh,
And
like
are you naive enough to
the
think as well
levels of
that China doesn't have that?
ignorance. Wait, the levels of ignorance are is local. You sounded like a total idiot, man.
like
Don't say
Steve
that.
Bannon.
Don't ever say that again, man. Don't ever say that again.
Steve
I mean,
Bannon is dumb.
it's well, you blew my mind. Actually, you blew my
Wait.
mind.
So you're saying the Chinese people didn't kill anybody
Okay, let's
when they
start
did
with
their
the
communist?
historical facts. Let's start with
Okay,
the
the
Wait,
historical
wait,
Boxer
facts.
I want to
Revolution.
hear Gabriel's rebuttal. But before, can
Okay,
I just say,
okay,
like, do you not think that China has the same interests of expansionism in other countries that the West has, like what they're
okay.
doing in
So
Africa
okay, and I'm
and
gonna start.
and the Middle
I'm gonna
East?
okay. I'm gonna start addressing David's question. Okay,
No,
and
but
we're gonna
address
start.
mine first.
I
Because for you,
it
they've never killed
okay, but
anybody. Oh, these
it
poor
touches.
people, they
Well,
just been living in their
Okay,
own country
okay,
Miguel
with
asked
the
first.
diners.
okay,
They
So
didn't
so
kill
so
nobody.
try to debunk Miguel
Jeez.
okay.
first because you were saying that he was
But
giving you
but
your
Exactly.
ears were
Exactly.
bleeding,
Let's
so
compare
and
the
so.
numbers.
So
Let's compare the numbers. How many people died in Iraq, Libya, Vietnam, Panama? How many wars do we want to put in there? Oh, let's put all the wars and let's count how many civilians did the Americans kill? I'm talking strictly the Americans. How many civilians did they kill? And we're
Or
going to add them all
or
together
how many civilians died as a result of?
as a result, exactly, of their interventions, of their wars.
okay, Gabriel,
And
you
then let's
okay,
add it
I can talk now.
all
yeah.
together, and let's match it against what the Chinese killed, and who killed more. It's
Okay,
simple.
can I
It's
can I
simple.
can I talk?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Can I
yeah.
say something? Okay, I'm gonna address David first because what David asked has everything to do with what Miguel is talking. Okay,
Okay.
point number one: historically, the China of today, the modern China that we have today, is actually smaller when it comes in terms of land, of the maps that we have. So the ancient maps of the Qing dynasty and the older dynasties, China was actually bigger than what it is today. That's just a historical fact.
Okay.
And historically, they didn't conquer these areas, kill everybody, and steal the resources. Historically, they conquered these places and they gave uh, protection, and they gave they brought like the monetary system. They
Mm.
brought progress to these areas. They built
Mm.
castles. They built palaces. They brought wealth.
Like
China
all the castles
historically.
that you can see
Okay,
in South
wait a second.
America, and the cathedrals, and the schools that they built to teach the natives, like the English did. Oh, okay, continua.
Okay, but there wasn't millions and millions of like there wasn't like they weren't like
And dude, every
committing
single South American country that you can go
genocide or
to,
anything like that. Okay,
look
so
at America.
that's just a historical
America
context.
is
But
I
literally.
want to let
okay,
Gabriel
let me
finish.
finish.
Let Gabriel finish.
Okay,
Like
I just want to
the
say one thing so he can finish. America is right now is the number one world power, the number one, and they are an ex colony of who? Of the United Kingdom. Continue. Then you can tell me one that China has left as well.
okay,
Okay.
China, like you guys, like I stated before, they had an empire, right?
Yeah.
And then the people and their empire was closed empire. They didn't let external forces to come inside to mingle into their affairs. When China was open to the West, the West did what they have been doing for thousands of years all around the world. What they did in Africa, what they did in South America, what they did in all the other countries that China has not done in all the and the other places. They came inside, they killed the people who were in power, and they stole the gold and the silver, and they raped the women, and they did whatever they had to do, and then they left. The a good example of that is the Opium
I'm
Wars.
gonna
The
rebuttal
opium.
that because
Wait,
I'm gonna
the,
rebuttal that because I don't
okay,
agree with that part.
okay. When
Wait,
Mao
wait,
Zedong,
wait, wait.
wait,
When you say that's what they done, who are you talking about specifically?
the British Empire.
The British Empire. Okay, so you're saying
Yes,
the British
yes,
Empire conquered lands and they took all the wealth and they did all this stuff. Yeah, that's what you're saying.
yes.
Because I'm gonna
Direct,
rebuttal that.
no,
Okay,
directly.
finish what you're saying.
Okay, well,
Because I'm
they
gonna
stole.
rebuttal that because
Well,
that's completely wrong.
they took control of Hong Kong against the Chinese will for
Yeah.
100 years. It was
Oh
part of
wait,
China, and
let me interject just one second. They also did that in Australia as well. Okay, continue.
well, they did it.
New
Okay,
Zealand.
but okay, and then what happened was they put in when Mao Zedong before Mao Zedong came into power, China was completely destroyed by Western countries. It was 10 Western countries that came to
Hmm.
China to destroy complete the whole society had been destroyed. Mao Zedong was put into power by the West, 100%. There's too much evidence to support the data that the communist revolution in China was a Western phenomena in China. And the Western phenomena that was set up by the West in China is responsible for what happened in China, for the genocide that happened in China. So the experiment, and let's call it an
That is a
experiment. What
massive
happened?
cop out, man.
No, that's not a massive cop out. That's the
That's a
history.
massive cop. That's a
No, wait a
massive,
second,
massive cop out. I'm
bro.
sorry. No,
No,
no.
no.
The
That's not
thing
a
is,
cop out. That's
no,
not a
it is
cop
a
out. That's
massive
the
cop
truth,
out. It is a massive
bro.
cop
That's
out
the
because
truth.
you're saying, "Oh,
No,
we did it, but they forced us to do it."
no, no, bro.
Wait a
There was
second.
no,
You
no,
did it. You
no,
know how many
bro.
people were killed? You
Bro,
know how many
China.
people the CCP
Okay,
killed?
let me
61 million
finish.
people.
Yes.
61
Okay.
million, dude. The Earth hasn't produced that many people. Jeez.
Bro, wait a second. Where did this guy come from? They did the same thing in Russia, and there you have a guy who wrote an entire
Who
book
did that in
for
Russia?
the.
The Russians did it.
Wow. Okay.
Because
I
the Americans and
okay.
the English were flying there killing people.
Okay.
It was the Russians and the Chinese who did
Okay.
it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
wait, so Gabriel, you
No,
think it's
it's a massive
Okay.
cop out because you go and you do what you do because you follow a system.
I don't know where you found this guy, and they're still doing it today. They did it. They're doing it in Ukraine. They did it in Afghanistan. They did it in Iraq. They did it in Iraq. They did it in. They've done it in Africa. That's what they do. It's called regime
Okay,
change.
can I
It's called regime
rebuttal?
change.
Can I
It's
rebuttal your
called
argument
regime
now?
change, and the CIA is still doing it today. It's called regime
Can I
change.
okay?
Okay.
Can I
so wait,
rebuttal your
I
argument?
don't
you
know.
think that
Loco, un
Wait,
campesino, viejo.
can I
espérate,
rebuttal? Can I rebuttal your argument?
you
Can I
think that
rebuttal
do you
your
think
argument?
that the West wait, can I say do you think that the West is responsible then for
for all the deaths
I'm
in
Oh,
China and
let
all
me
the
let me
deaths
ask
no
you
no.
one. Let
in
me ask one question.
freaking
It's the
Russia.
same question. It's the same question that I always ask Chinese people in China. Who wrote the Communist Manifesto? Was it a Chinese guy?
No, it was a German
It's,
guy.
it's a fucking
Yeah,
regime change.
yeah. And
That's
who
it.
applied? Who applied it? Who applied it? Who
Where's the
applied it?
dynasty of China?
Was it an English? Was it an
Where are
English guy or an American
China?
guy who applied
Where are
it?
the dynasties of such? Where are the
I
dynasties of
think
China?
I think
Where
Gabriel
are
I
the
think where
dynasties
Gabriel's
of
coming
China?
from. I think what Gabriel's coming from is
Where?
like if you take Cuba for
Dude, they got
example, right?
poisoned. They got
No.
poisoned.
But I'm just saying
They
if you
got
get Cuba
poisoned. I'm
for
not saying they
example,
didn't get poisoned.
if you take Cuba for example, it's pretty clear that let's say Fidel Castro was a CIA asset and was
Yeah.
part of that. So you could turn around and say that Stalin or Lenin or Mao Zedong,
I mean,
those could have been
Miguel's accusing me of
assets
fucking
from
off.
the
Well,
from.
the thing is
You're
that Gabriel's not
accusing
letting me finish my rebuttal. That's the problem.
you of being
Because
No,
a
I
prime
can
minister.
but
explain
you see where
everything.
he can be coming
I
from as
can
well. You
explain.
see,
Yeah, but where he's coming from is a very basic common response that you get from people who advocate for the CCP
Bro,
and people
they're
who
doing.
advocate
I'm
for
not advocating for the CCP. I'm against the
you
CCP. I
are.
just say, bro, I just
No,
say that
literally, dude.
the Western countries are the ones who are
I'm
responsible
saying
for
that's a massive
building.
cop out, and I'm saying that's a massive cop out.
But bro, you can say whatever you want. You're
can
saying
I put a
Okay,
third
okay.
point?
Let me
Can I
ask you a
put a
question.
third
you're
point?
ignorant.
Let me ask you a
You're an
question. Let me
Can
ask
I
you a
put a
question.
third
ignorant
point?
person.
Wait, can I put a third point?
Unfortunately, you're an ignorant
Because
person
you're
who doesn't know
saying
anything about
because
history.
I just want to say like my third point would be because Miguel is saying one thing, Gabriel is saying that it's the West. I would say if Gabriel is saying it's the West, I say good. Like yeah, and what are you gonna do about it? You know, I mean, like they
Hold on,
won.
I'm not saying good or bad. I'm not saying good or bad. My whole
If you
point is
want to
I'm not
say that the West is the West is
saying
the puppet master behind everything, then I said then you got played. You know, what I mean,
of
Exactly. And
course,
not only did you not get
of
played,
course.
the reason why that happened to you is because you
But
weren't willing to play
but
ball. That's the only reason why that happened to you.
no,
Because now I'm gonna rebuttal.
no,
Yes, yes.
no.
Now I'm gonna rebuttal.
No.
No, we're
We're
talking
talking
about
about no. We're talking
we were
about
talking about
civilization.
the British Empire. That's what we were talking about. The British Empire, and to rebuttal what you're saying, they went to America. They created the greatest nation on earth. They went to Australia. They created a great nation as well. Talk about the 50s, the 40s, the 60s. These are amazing countries. Talk about South Africa when the English were still involved. I'm talking about the British. Talk about everywhere where the British went. They tried to go in and did they steal? Yes. Did they take the stuff? Yes, but they also left a lot of people there. Because the way you have to take into consideration that the way that the crown expands itself, it wasn't to just go in and take and leave. That's what the Spanish did. That's what a lot of different invading
Oh,
conquerors did.
the
Because
British
the
did that
English
all
went
over
and
the
they tried to
world.
put their system in. They built schools, they brought education, they tried to teach everyone how to be a decent, honest person, like bringing in Christianity, teaching everyone about God and all this kind of stuff.
The, the
That's
same
what the
thing.
British crown
No,
did for a long time.
okay, that's the same thing that the same thing that Americans did, that Western Americans did, and it wasn't the Pilgrims. I'm not gonna accuse the Pilgrims. I'm gonna accuse the British Empire again. The same thing that they did in the U.S. that they completely destroyed an entire civilization of the local people who lived on that
mhm.
land, which is the Native
No,
American Indians.
Yeah, but the
no,
only
no, no,
Wait,
reason
no,
why
wait a
that
second. Wait a
happened,
second.
dude,
Wait a second.
and
Wait
I
a
know a
second.
lot of people will get offended, but
Wait,
the only
wait.
reason why that happened is because these people were, in terms of IQ, they weren't evolved enough. And a lot of
Okay,
people will get offended.
but,
Look, these people
okay,
had great knowledge in their own
Aggie,
understanding of how they saw the
you
world.
are saying
But the
you are
Native
saying
Americans
wait a second, wait a second. Let
were
me finish what I'm
savages,
saying.
man.
It's not
You're
even
saying
that. Like the Native
listen,
Americans asked the Americans for guns to kill the like the
I
opposing
know there was
tribes.
exactly there
You
was
know, I mean,
fighting
Exactly
and
like
everything.
the
I'm not
Chinese,
I'm not
exactly
saying
like
there,
the
there,
but
Chinese.
there was
Ask the
but
Americans, look, how do we get rid of 60
there was
million
a
people?
replacement. That's what I'm saying is that there was a replacement of the ethnicity in the entire land, and now there's just a very small number that are left, right? And what I'm saying is that you can't say that the Chinese did the same thing because that would be a historical like idiocy to say something like this. It would be something very ridiculous to say that the
To
Chinese did
say
the
what?
same thing that the Chinese
In
did
China.
Yeah, the dynasties did exactly the same thing, that they
I'm
came
not
and they
talking
took.
about the dynasty. I'm talking about the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP. That's literally what the CCP did.
Okay,
They
bro.
went and they
Okay,
rounded people up and they said, "Do you
okay.
agree with us? No, you
Let
don't.
me ask.
Okay,
Let
kill
me
them."
let
That's
me
it.
ask you a
That's what they
question.
did.
Wait, let
There's
me
no
ask you a
way to
question.
excuse that, Gabriel.
Let me,
And no other
let,
country in the
bro,
world
let
has
me ask
done
you a question.
something as evil as that. No
Let
other
me ask you a
country in the
question.
world.
Let
And
me
it
ask you
was
a
the
question.
Chinese people who did it. And it's the
Let
Chinese
me
people who, if that ever happens again, will do it again.
let me ask
And
you a
the
question,
Russian people. And you want me to tell you why? The single one, no,
bro.
only reason. Because of the same reason that the monarchy exists today. Because it's a marriage between church and state that China doesn't have. And if you do
The,
not
the,
have
the,
morality, if you
the,
do not have morality and
no,
the church
no,
to
okay,
step
don't
in
be
and
silly.
say,
Don't be
listen,
silly.
you shouldn't kill all these people because it's not good, because God is not going to be happy, that's what happens. But of course, it doesn't matter because the Chinese don't have to answer to a God because they're they don't have a God. They don't have a religion.
I don't
They
know
don't
where
have
you guys.
anybody to answer
I don't know
to.
where you guys
Look,
found
we
this guy.
have to look. We have to put a river here, and there's a village. There's a village in. Oh, if it's the Chinese, just kill
Animal.
everybody.
Okay,
Just
okay.
kill
I think
everybody and
Bro,
build a river. How
Gabriel.
let me
many
ask you a
people?
question.
How many
Bro,
peasants live there? Oh, 1,000 peasants. Okay, kill them. Doesn't
Okay,
matter because we
I
need to
think
build a
we've
river
been
there.
in this topic
If,
quite a
if
bit.
it's the
So
if it's the church and
let,
state,
let me ask a question to
Gabriel,
Miguel.
rebuttal
Wait,
a
let
bit.
me ask.
Ask a question, rebuttal, and then we can move on to a different topic because I
Okay,
think we've been going on this
okay.
for quite a bit. So go ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna have to edit. We're gonna have to edit this one because the level of ADHD is how 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 old is the civilization of China?
5,000 years? 4,000?
it's
I'm
what,
asking
Very.
what
Miguel.
it depends. It depends by what do you mean by China? Because I don't view it as what do you mean by China? I don't view it as China. China is a relatively new thing. This idea
You
of
see,
China is a
you see,
relatively new thing.
you understand this guy. He's been saying China, 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 China for an hour.
No,
I asked him a
no,
question,
no,
and now he
no,
can't
no,
answer.
no. I said the
Now he
Chinese
can't answer.
people, the Chinese
And now
Communist
he can
Party.
answer. Now let me ask
No,
you
no,
one
no, no.
question.
I said the
How
Chinese Communist
okay,
Party and the
you can
Chinese
answer the
people. I
question.
did not say
Okay, shut up,
China
you can answer
as a
the question.
country.
Let me ask you one question. How old is the CCP?
It's relatively young, man. The CCP is relatively young, man.
What is it,
Give
like 60s?
It's 100 years.
give or take, yeah. It's a
Oh, it's
relatively
100 years.
young
They just
institution.
celebrate
Yeah,
100 years. Like 1 year ago, 2 years ago, they celebrate a
yeah.
hundred years. So, as a civilization of thousands of years, we just have uh in the last of that civilization, we just have
Hmm.
a phenomena where that civilization encounters the West, and in 100 years of a civilization living in peaceful harmony, because they were living in peaceful harmony and in prosperity, and then a 100 years, and as soon as the West
Well,
they open the
in
door,
peaceful
as soon as
prosperity,
they open
according
the
to
door,
you, not
bro. But
according to Chinese history.
no, according to
What
China,
they never
bro,
had wars.
according, wait,
Wait, the Chinese
according,
never had wars before the
bro.
CCP.
But let me finish. According to Chinese history, China is one of the richest cultures in the whole world in terms
No,
of
no, we're not
art.
talking about
In,
rich culture. We're talking about death.
no, in terms of morality, in terms of family values, in terms of music, in terms of literature, in terms of poetry, in
Hmm.
terms of clothes, in terms of art, in terms of architecture.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about, bro? And the
I'm
and the
not any of those
it's
things.
a very
I was talking
old,
about
it's a very
everything
old
except for those things that you
civilization
just mentioned.
that has been on the
Because my
world
argument
for
has nothing to do.
with
My
their
argument,
environment
my,
in a
my
very
argument.
prosperous and rich way, until they open the doors for the Western people to come inside and to fuck up the whole system.
Uh huh.
That's the
Okay,
history.
and let me
That's
ask
what
you a
happened.
question so you can see
That's
that
what
I want
happened.
my point,
Because
and then we'll
it
move
was
on to a new
a
point.
very
And what system did they have with all those
bro,
things that you were
bro,
talking about? What
bro.
system did they have?
Wait,
Monarchy,
wait,
bro. This is how I started my whole conversation. They had monarchy for hundreds of years, and everything worked, and
bro. They
everything
went
was
to
beautiful,
war.
and everything was
They went to
rosy.
war.
Just like I was saying
War.
today. Just
Where's
like I
the
was
war?
saying today.
Same
The reason
countries.
the UK is a
Same
country
countries.
that it is
And
today,
same,
and
the
why it's
same
one of the most
countries.
powerful countries in the world, is because they've had a monarchy.
Bro,
The same
there
as
was
China
same
had for so many years.
Germany,
And the second you
Germany,
get rid of that, you get the
Germany,
CCP.
Australia,
Boom.
New Zealand,
Argument
the
one.
UK,
Let's move on.
France, Italy, Spain, US, all those countries invaded China with guns and with weapons. That was the Boxer Rebellion, where we still had a monarchy, where we still had a system of the dynasties in China, and you had the whole NATO,
And where did the
all of
boxers come
NATO
from? Where did
doing
the boxers come
doing,
from?
doing what
Where did
NATO
the
does
boxers
best.
come from?
Doing what NATO,
The boxers came from Brentford. They came from Sheffield.
oh, the Boxers were fighting with machetes
Yeah,
against
and where did they
all of
come from?
NATO. And what was NATO doing? What they were fighting who? They were fighting against who? Against guys
Dude, the
with
thing is
machetes.
that the way that
A
you the way
civilization, a
the way that
civilization,
you
a rich
argue,
Your
civilization
camera,
that
Miguel,
was
fell
full
down.
of gold, full of silver, and full of diamonds, and they were fighting against NATO, all of NATO, with the highest technology of that era of guns, cannons, machine guns. They went inside and they slaughtered millions of people. They completely destroyed the Beijing. They completely, which was the Forbidden City, which is the most beautiful city in that time in the whole world, that you can say that was, you could compare it to any European country, in France, Paris, the UK, anywhere.
dude,
We're
but you
talking about
just agreed with my argument.
architecture.
You just agreed with my argument. You just agreed with my argument.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. They went to war and they lost, and the war was lost. The fall of China and what they have today, this master system of the CCP that I'm not defending. The war was not lost when Xi Jinping in the Cultural Revolution. The war was already lost because they had to destroy the country to bring about what they built, which is the Communist Party, which came from the ashes, which was basically all the peasants and all the people, because the country was literally raped. They literally raped the country. And who raped the country? It was NATO, it was the UK, this is historically factual. This is what happened. This is the history. And the same thing they did to China, they did it everywhere. They do it all over the place. Okay, we're not talking about some conspiracy or something like this. This is the historical facts that NATO and their armies marched into
Yeah,
China
but you
with
see,
machine guns and with
you
guns,
see how you.
and they just
Okay, so our my argument was when we started, and let's move on because this is getting
Yeah.
boring now. But my argument when I started was, I felt that the monarchy served as a buffer to the CCP, and you completely disagreed. And there's a guy, where's it come from? And you end up saying all these things about China. It's like, dude, you literally agreed with me. China was a beautiful place, according to you, for hundreds of years when they had a monarchy. The second they switched, they flipped. And I'm not arguing against the fact that it could have been the West, or it could have been the Illuminati or the Masons or whoever it was. What I'm saying is, the second they changed, the fit hit the shan, and that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's a good thing that the UK still has a monarchy, because the second they change, we might turn into what China became, and there might be 30 million dead English people. I don't know.
well, that's what the same thing that they did in China, they're gonna do in the US. That's what they're doing in the US now.
Well, let's hope that the Americans are smarter than the
It's it's
Chinese.
it's not me that I'm saying it. It's you have that Russian guy who was working for the FBI for many, not the FBI, for the Secret Service of Russia, the KGB. He does a whole exposition about this, how the same formula that they used to destroy Russia, they're gonna do the same thing in the US, and that's exactly the same thing that they did in China. Just that China was very rich, so they had to steal everything first. They had to go in and kill everybody and steal everything first.
I think they've.
The
I,
the
I think
amount
they've bounced
the
back though.
amount
I
of
think.
just the amount of gold that
Okay,
was in China,
so I
the
think
amount of silver.
a good segue out of this would be then, what do you think is the reason why they want to do that?
Why they want to do what? Change America
Eliminate
to
eliminate freedom, eliminate choice, eliminate sovereignty,
get more power, bro.
eliminate the
At the
right
end,
to.
of freedom
Okay,
of
so
speech.
going back to, for my personal opinion, and it's going back to the original argument that we talk about everything in the beginning, is what I was saying is that for me all the systems are the same. The semantics just change. because the way that I view the world is like farms. You have the Chinese farm, you have the British farm, and that's why I find what Miguel said quite silly, because he said, we have the monarchy is gonna protect us from becoming like that farm. It's like
No,
a
that's
sheep.
not what I said.
That's
That's
not
not
what
what
he
I
said.
said.
That's not what he said.
No,
He
no,
said,
That's not
no,
what I
that's not.
said. No, the thing is that you understood it like that. You
Okay,
understood it like that because you have a soft spot for the CCP. I don't.
no,
I know
no,
how horrible these people are. I know how
no.
evil they are. But I get it. You live in China. You have to, you have
Listen,
to
listen,
abide
listen.
Bro,
by the law of the
How you
land.
how you said it, how you explained it is literally like
No,
a
I
sheep
literally
behind
said
a
no,
sheep.
no. I literally said they seemingly look like they would work as a buffer to communism.
But that's exactly what I'm trying to say. That's my point. My point is, you're a sheep in a cage, and you're laughing at another sheep in another cage, and you're saying, man, man, we have a monarchy, man. Look at them. We're not gonna become like them, man,
But we're
man.
not.
That's what I'm saying.
We're
But
not.
that's
But
what
we're
I'm.
not.
But that's
But we're not
exactly
because
that's
we
what you're
haven't.
saying.
No,
But
because there's
you're
Miguel, you
people.
have
saying
to
There's
fix your
look.
camera because
that's
you're
my
cut.
point.
There's people.
That's my point.
There's a girl in the.
Don't care
There's a
what you're
girl.
saying. I don't care what you're saying. What I'm saying is that that's what I believe. I
Okay, okay,
believe
okay.
Yeah.
But
that
the question,
you're in a
Okay.
yeah,
farm.
but you
the
I'm in
can't
a
question now
farm.
Okay.
is,
Okay. Let
I'm
me ask you a
espérate.
question.
in a
Let
farm.
me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. How
I'd
many
rather be a
Chinese
sheep in
people?
his farm
Wait a
though.
second.
Wait, exactly.
I
How
don't.
many
I
Chinese people do you know? How many Chinese people do you know have 15 children? 15 kids. Zero. Why? Because they all had to abide by the one child, two child policy in China. Okay, so don't say that one farm is better, that they're all the same. Because some farms are better than other farms. Okay, so
yeah.
if
Yes,
you're gonna be
yes.
a sheep, if you're gonna
That's
be a sheep in this farm, I'd rather be in a sheep
exactly.
with
But
a
that's
monarchy that is gonna be a
bro. That
buffer
was
to
my
the
whole
sheep
point.
farm that a lot of people have to live in. A lot
So
of people in
that was
China.
my whole point.
And
That's what
now, of
my
course,
whole point was.
ahora los chinos quieren hablar con la boca llena.
No, but
Llena de comida. Why? Because they
that
can
was
buy some technology. Big
bro.
deal.
But that was my whole
They're
point in
still a
the
bunch of
beginning. That
freaking
was my whole
slaves.
point. My whole point from the beginning was exactly that. That I found what you were saying was silly, because for me, we're all in a farm, and to say that my farm is better than that farm is not fixing the problem.
Well,
That's
no
where I'm
one's
coming
trying to
from.
fix the
I'm saying,
problem. I was trying to say, at least in our farm, we don't have to, have two kids if we don't want to. We
yes,
can have
that's why I
more.
found it silly.
We can have
But that's
six.
why I found it exactly, and that's why I found it silly. That's why I say, for me,
Dude,
this
you
is
guys don't
a
even
silly
have cash
argument.
in China anymore.
But my whole point, it was exactly that. My whole point is, I'm not defending this farm or that farm. My whole point was like the
No,
levels
you're saying the
of
farms are exactly the
no,
same. You should never say that. Anyways, let's just
Yeah,
change
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Let's
I
go
guess
back to
I
what we
guess the
were
question
saying.
is why is
The-
the world creating farms, and why are we going in the way we're going, where all
No,
all the
because we have
I
to.
think
Because
that's
we
kind of a
have to.
basic question.
We need
I
to
think that's
have. We need to have systems. We need to have
yeah, no.
political systems, and we
I'm
no,
need
not
but
to
the
saying
have.
that we
political
don't.
systems don't have
I'm
to
just
be
saying that
retarded though.
the question that you
Yeah,
propose
and the
is kind of
monarchy isn't
basic.
retarded. That's what I was trying to say.
The question that you propose is kind of basic because you're just saying like, oh, why would they want to do this? But it's pretty self-evident. So I
Yeah,
think we
you
should ask.
listen. You have to feed. Look, you have to feed millions of people. You have to house millions of people. You have to make sure that these millions of people don't become civil. Like there isn't any
I
civil
don't. I
unrest.
disagree
That
with
they're
Miguel
happy.
again. I mean, I'm on a completely different frequency. I
No, I
I
think the
completely.
reason
Well,
why
you
they
don't.
want to
You don't
have
believe. You don't believe that the government has a responsibility to make sure that people
I
have a
exactly.
basic
I 100%
modicum of.
agree with you. And that's where all the jibber jabber that you just said in the last hour goes down the toilet, bro. Because my point of view is, I hate government, all forms of government, including the monarchy, including the CCP. So every time you say you have a soft spot for the CCP, you have no idea where I'm coming from. And where I disagree with you more is when you say the government has to do this, the government has to do that.
No,
You know
I
why?
didn't say. I didn't say
No,
they have to. I didn't say they
that's why.
have to. I said I
And
didn't say they have to. I didn't say they have to. That's the
what
only
the
reason.
government has to do? Fuck all.
No,
That's what the
that
government.
no. That's the point of their
You
existence.
know what the government has to do? They need to fuck off. That's what they need to do. And that's where I'm coming from. People should be independent. That's
So
Dude,
where I'm
so
coming
wait a
from.
minute,
but
Miguel.
that's
That's
not
So
one
true.
thing.
But that's
I have
not
a
true.
I have a
That's a
question,
That's
Miguel.
lie.
not
That's
true.
a lie
You
because
don't need to
ninety nine
for
point nine
anything.
percent of people are
So wait a
retarded,
minute. So wait a minute. So
and they
you
need
think
somebody to
No,
tell them
that's
what
not
to
true.
do.
I disagree
That
with you
is
again.
true.
disagree with you again. 99% of the people are retarded because of government institutions like school, universities, and all the fucking shit that they've been shoving us down the throat
Nah,
for the
no way,
thousands of
no
years.
way, dude. How can you explain? How can you explain that we live in the most vibrant, richest, most knowledge resource available society that humans have ever lived in, yet people are the most retarded or most stupid than they ever have been?
Oh,
Don't tell me that.
no,
Oh, if you
it's a
let people
social
to do
engineering.
whatever they're gonna do, everyone's
Look,
just gonna
Social
blossom
engineering.
into some beautiful
No, it's
Einstein.
social engineering. It's the
Bullshit.
guy.
Not true. It's a lie.
No, social
It's a lie.
engineering.
look,
It's social
uh,
engineering and
Dude,
the
but if
private
people were
schools.
so bright, if people were so bright, like you were saying, then all this social engineering wouldn't work,
But
would
I
it?
have a question, Miguel.
What
Don't you think?
social
Wait,
engineering?
Miguel, don't you think the government and the people at hand are trying to make people dumber?
Well, I just disagree with you. That's it.
No, of
I just
course
disagree
not.
with
Why
you.
would they want to try and
Look,
make people dumber? It's not
because
about
no,
making
no,
people dumber.
no,
It's
I
just
disagree
about
with you
making
there.
people work. That's
No,
it.
no,
That's all they
yeah,
need. It's
but
just people to
they wanna,
work.
they
That's
wanna,
all.
they wanna atomize people. They wanna atomize people.
Dude, you have to understand that society and the whole everything that you see in existence is a system. It's like a
that
cell. Everything needs
us
to work. The garbage
is a
needs to go
system that
out.
is
The water
perverted,
needs to
that is
come
corrupt.
in. The lights need to go on. The electricity needs to flow. It's a system.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
but
a
the
Because the
system
guy in
that
his
is corrupt.
multi-million
It's a,
pound house
it's a,
needs to be able to call and say,
no,
"Oh, send me a
it's a,
Domino's."
it's a
And the
system
whole
that is
system is
it's a system that is corrupt. It's a system that is perverted, and it's a
yes,
system
because
that is fake.
humans are corrupt and
It's a system
perverted.
that is
It's not
fake.
because the system is bad. It's because humans are the issue
No,
here is not the system. The issue here is people. Dude, God created the best system that humans could even think of. God created it, and we still managed to fuck it up.
yeah, but you can't
True.
deny the fact that nowadays, like the government is pushing for
I, I
things that
just,
don't
I
really
just have
make
to disagree
sense.
with Gabriel on like people
Because
being
I think
able to
Gabriel is missing.
independently run
I think
themselves. I don't
mm,
think human beings have the capacity to just
No,
govern themselves.
no. Obviously, like the majority of the
uh,
population has a below sub IQ, so they wouldn't be able to
but
like
why would you?
function
No, but it's not even if
properly.
you weren't below sub IQ.
Yeah,
It's not even that's not even the point. You
mm.
want to outsource that as just a normal, even as an intelligent person, you would want to outsource that because people don't. You don't want to spend your time solving all the problems that a society can solve for you. You know what I mean? Don't steal. Now you have to
Mm,
set up a vigilante group to make sure people
mm.
don't steal. Yes, it's called a police. It's a system that we've created so that then we can outsource that job to a guy who wants to be out driving in the middle of the night, making sure that people don't get robbed. You see what I mean? Everything is a
I
system, and
don't
we
agree.
create these systems so we can outsource this work to people who want to do it. Because
but Gabriel, would
generally
you have what,
speaking,
like an anarchist society that does
I
that?
don't even know what society, what
No,
system Gabriel would try and create. Imagine having 30 people in a
no.
house trying to live in that house for a month. The only way to make that
Mm,
work is to have a good system where
no, I
everybody has
totally.
to do
So
something.
you think
And
the system
obviously,
nowadays is
the
a good
best way.
system, Miguel?
No, but I think it's the best system we've been able to come up so far based on what we know of human, the human character
But
and
what
the
do you say about
human,
this social
like,
propaganda now that they're putting out there about like in a
but,
couple
but that has nothing to do,
come on
that
que that
has
has
nothing to
nothing to
do
do.
with the
That's all part
system.
of the system.
No, no, no. What I mean is that it has nothing to do with the system in terms of, oh, we need to change the system. No, it's not got to do with we need to change the system because the system is
Oh,
going to stay the
Mm,
same. What they
I
need to
guess it
do.
is change the people that are in charge of the system that because
no,
the agenda that they're
No, no.
putting
What
out
they
is
what
maybe
they're
I'm
trying
too.
to do now. Look, what you guys are missing is what's happening right now is that we were in a patriarchy. Okay, that's what's happening right now. We were in a patriarchy where everything
Mm,
was designed for and exclusively for men's way of viewing the world, and that is changing now. We're going into a gynocentric order, so everything is going to become feminine. That
Miguel
is
is a
literally
slave.
what's happening in the world right now.
That's the
yeah,
problem
but
with
that's
Miguel.
gonna
Miguel is
be
a slave,
that's gonna be a
and
detriment to
and
the society
I
because as we're
Of
already
exactly.
seeing,
course,
I'll
of
say
course,
it's not
because
going
we've
to
never done that before.
it's not gonna go in
Dude,
a positive
You
way.
why
can't
why
convert
am I
that.
a slave?
Can I hear
Why am I
Gabriel's
a
point?
slave? Why am I a slave? I
You
don't
can't
understand.
convert.
You
Have you
can't.
ever seen a monkey? Have you ever seen a monkey in a cage?
Dude, there's a zoo like 40 minutes from mine, and I go there
Exactly.
like every month or so with my son, and we go look at the
Exactly.
monkeys in cages.
And what's the difference between the monkey in the cage and the monkey in the wild?
That the monkey
Uh,
in the wild doesn't
they,
live in a cage.
is
They
The
they
monkey in
have
the wild
completely
doesn't masturbate.
the mind is completely different. Everything is different. The fruit,
they're well, it
the
depends. For
no,
me, they're exactly the
Because the
same. A
monkey
monkey
in
in
the
the
cage
wild and
doesn't
a monkey in the
masturbate.
cage is exactly
No,
the
no,
same.
the monkey in the wild doesn't masturbate. That's an
Maybe I
actual
don't know.
fact. No,
Okay,
that's a fact. Yeah. Caged monkeys are the only. The caged monkeys
I no,
will jack off and.
I've heard like I was hearing like I was listening to one is a like a German guy, and then he did research about like German slaves before, like
Yeah,
historically in the Viking the times of the Vikings, and then they have some oral stories that they were passing down,
yeah.
that once you became a slave you could never change your mind to become free again. You were locked into that system. You cannot get out. You cannot
well,
open your mind anymore
I don't believe in freedom in that way though. I don't
because
think
you're a
that people
slave.
should be. Maybe,
You
maybe,
cannot
but
open your
the
mind. You
thing is,
cannot.
the
What
no,
I'm saying
my
is, I
mind is
want
very
Gabriel.
open. The thing is that
I
the
want.
difference between me and you is that I'm a rational thinker.
What's
The
I am not
the
an I
difference
Gabriel?
between
no,
What's
no
your
the
I don't
point?
difference
believe in
between
idealism like
no
you.
the
I don't
difference
believe in
between you and
idealism
me
like you.
is that you're
Oh,
a
we're gonna
slave and
make the world better and we're gonna fix the world.
no
I don't want to fix the world. I don't
no
want to make the world a better place. I want to get the fuck out of here. So I don't care if it's it. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna rationalize and I'm gonna think pragmatically. I'm not gonna
I
let
want to know
myself
what
get
Gabriel.
involved in these passionate, romantic, idealistic ways of viewing the
no
world because
no
that's
no no
bullshit. That's just dumb.
no no
That's
no
stupid. Why would I do that?
no you
Do I want
I
to help
mean
the
you
Chinese people? Hell no. I don't even want to help the Venezuelan people.
mm,
What do I want to make the British people more free? No. Why? I can only view the world the way that it is, and then I can analyze and rationalize how I understand it. That's what I can do.
yeah
And what I'm saying right now is you can consider it to be slavery. Yes, absolutely. Everyone's a slave. Even the people at the top are slaves. Even the biggest billionaire in the world is a slave. He's a slave to himself,
but
but
there's
he's still a
actually
slave.
there's still people that live on the world that are free, like there's some Indian
Yeah, not
reserves
even
that live
Indian,
in the
like the guy in
Amazon,
California who
that
got
live
kicked out of his house because he couldn't pay the rent.
like the people who live in
He's
the
free.
Amazons.
So what's your point, Gabriel?
You don't have to
They
go to
still
the
have
What
Amazon.
what
they
was
You don't
your
have
haven't
to
they
go to
should
the Amazon. Literally, you
they,
walk down. You walk down any major metropolitan city in the U.S. right now has loads of free people.
Gabriel, I want to
They're
ask
called
you something.
homeless people. Those
yeah
people are the freest people on the planet. Literally, they pay no rent. They answer to nobody. They do whatever the fuck they want.
But they're
That's
homeless.
freedom. That's what freedom looks like. That's what freedom
But
looks
they're
like in
homeless.
humanity.
But they're homeless.
Yeah, they don't have to pay. Do they have to get PhDs? Do they have to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning to get to their job on time, or
No,
pay a mortgage, or pay a loan?
no.
No, these people are the freest people on the planet. They have to do fuck all. That's their job. What's your job? Oh, my job is
but
to
it's
do
not
fuck all.
fair.
That's
I
freedom.
feel
Gabriel, I
no
wanted
That's
but
to
it's
ask
not
freedom.
you
fair.
though. What was your
No, you
No it's
can't
not
find
fair.
anybody
comparison with
freer than
the
that. You can't find anybody
no I
freer than that.
no no it's not fair because they're already inside a farm. It's like they're already inside the cage. You understand what I mean? So they need
So wait, so
they
wait,
need
so wait. What's the difference between? No, wait.
they're
Now you're really starting to not make any
no
sense.
no
That
they're
is
it's
literally a cop out.
no that's not a cop out. That's the truth.
Of
I
course
They
it
want to
live
is.
hear Gabriel explain himself
yeah
about his kind of his.
analogy of the
What would be
monkey
your
and the.
idealistic? What would be your idealistic
no
farm then
that
or system?
Well,
no
his
no
utopia.
no no
Do we
because
have time
what you
to
guys
talk
are
about
asking me is
utopia?
stupid. It's also silly. It's also silly. It's like saying it's you have the right to kill the baby because the woman got raped because something bad happened to her. It's the same thing. It's the same argument. It's exactly the same argument. It's like you need to give me a solution because you're in the shit. You understand?
No. I'm
Because
not
you're in.
saying that, but I'm saying
No,
you're
you're the
saying
one
that.
who's arguing. You're the one
Yeah,
who's arguing.
you're
So
saying
you
that
Oh,
we're
I'm
you
not.
you
I'm
you
not
have the
arguing
burden of
anything.
proof.
I'm
You
not arguing
literally just
anything.
called me. Listen. You
Exactly.
literally
I
just called me
pointed
a
out the
slave
fact.
mine. You said I'm a
Exactly.
slave. You said que soy un campesino. That I don't know all this stuff. And then when we
Gabriel.
ask you to explain
You
yourself,
said
you
that
say,
we're
I can't explain myself
no.
because.
You're saying that we're slaves as opposed to you that have a free mind. That
No, no,
you're
no,
like an
no, no,
outside
no,
thinker.
no, no,
But that's
no,
literally
You're a
what you
no,
slave
just
as
said.
well.
no, no,
You're a
no.
slave
Of
as well.
course,
No, he's
I'm
not
the
a slave because he's got a
I'm the
different way of.
first one to. No, I'm the first one to admit it. But I'm locked inside the system. I don't have anywhere to go. Understand? I'm already locked in the
Ah.
system.
But I
So
think
who?
we all
Wait.
acknowledge. I think we
Oh,
all acknowledge that we're slaves within the system, though.
exactly,
Exactly.
But we're going back to my
But
point.
you said that you
That's what
have a
I'm.
different way of thinking about things.
Of course, that in the way that I'm totally against the farm. That's the
Yeah,
whole
but
thing. Miguel's
everyone's against the
Miguel's,
farm.
Miguel, no. You're still agreeing. You're saying that we still need it's the best system that we have, and
No,
it's the
it
system
is the
that we
best
built, and
system.
blah
But
blah
just
blah.
because it's the
And
best
Yeah,
system,
that's
it
what I
doesn't
mean.
mean
So
I
what
agree with the
you're saying that
system.
it's the best. It's not the best system. What would be the best system? That's what I'm trying to ask
the
you.
best. Okay, and my point of view, because I've actually
You
thought about
said
this
people
before.
should govern themselves.
It's like the electric
Okay,
chair, dude. It's like the
wait,
electric
wait,
chair.
wait, wait, wait,
Yes,
wait.
it's bad, but it's the
Well, deja
best
que
way
se
to kill
explique.
somebody.
Yo quiero
Let,
escucharlo.
Es
let me
que you haven't argued with Gabriel before. Él se va ahí en una, but he's never gonna
no,
get there.
claro, no. Yo me voy a ir en una, and because I had thought about it before.
Okay.
No, you haven't.
There,
Let him,
Making it up
Miguel,
as
let
you
him
go
explain.
along.
Miguel, let him explain. Let's
Okay.
hear what's
Yo
his
no me
system.
conozco este tigre. Oye.
there's no such thing as freedom, because you always need to be under the law of something, right?
I just
Miguel
told
is
you
saying,
right now what
wait,
freedom
exactly.
is.
No, you just told me right
It doesn't
now
get any
that
freer than that.
wait,
That is
that's
ultimate
not
freedom.
true. That's not
Don't
true.
lie.
No,
Don't lie.
no.
Because you know that's
You-
ultimate freedom.
But let me elaborate.
Yeah,
Please,
but
let me
don't lie
elaborate.
then. Elaborate, but don't lie.
Okay.
You literally
The,
just said there's no such thing as freedom, and I gave you a perfect example of ultimate freedom.
okay, and I'm disqualifying your example with with what I'm gonna say next. Your example is disqualified because these people are still under an oppressive system where they cannot eat, they cannot feed their body, or they cannot find shelter.
What you
So
mean
they
nature?
no, not nature. That's not nature.
That's not
The city.
nature.
No, a city is not nature. Nature is something that is
Dude,
not
it
made by
doesn't
man.
matter if these people are living in the
Oh,
wilderness, in the
exactly.
forest, in the
So
jungle, or in a metropolitan city. At
and
the end of the day,
exactly
you
that.
have to feed yourself. You're
So
under
So
wait,
you're
so are
under
you?
the system.
Would you say like
but
indigenous
let me
people
elaborate.
in
You're
the
in the
Let me elaborate.
system of
Wait,
nature.
let me elaborate.
Yeah, but you're
Let me elaborate.
elaborating. You're making us
That
lies in your
no, but
elaboration.
that's what my whole point was. My whole point was going to
No,
say
you're
is
saying
that
you're gonna
there's no.
disqualify. You're gonna
Miguel,
disqualify it.
please,
Let him talk. Let him talk.
let me
Let him talk.
elaborate.
Es
What
que
I'm
está
saying is
diciendo
that
mentira, señores. No
there's
lo pueden
no
dejar
such
hablar
thing
mentira.
as freedom. There's no such thing as freedom because you need to be under the law of something. And
The law of
I've
nature.
thought about exactly the law of nature, of mother nature, of the trees, the mountains, the rivers, and whatever resources you can find on that place. And that for me is freedom. If I need to choose to be under a government system or to be under the law of the land, I would go with the law of the land. Like the
So
like
one question.
So,
So one
so wait,
question.
what?
If I told you that,
Dude, I told you
if I
this guy
told you
hasn't
that,
thought about it.
no,
He
I'm
just
just gonna
hasn't.
ask a question. So if I told you that you could, for example, have your consciousness be put into an indigenous tribe in the Amazons that hasn't been discovered yet, you would prefer to live there than where you live now.
Can I just interject? Because everything that he just said right now makes absolutely no sense at
But I
all. Like
want him to
literally, it
answer.
doesn't
I
make
want
any
him to.
sense.
Can he answer that? Would you prefer to be an indigenous man in the Amazon forest, with his dick hanging out, just laying
It doesn't
around,
make
you know?
sense, dude. What he's talking
ten,
No,
about.
but
He
I'm
just
just
said
saying.
right
Would
now.
you?
He just said right now that
10,000,
his.
So you would.
10,000%.
You
Okay.
would
Now I'm
prefer.
gonna
100
destroy
million
his
times
philosophy
percent.
in 2 seconds. I'm gonna
Wait,
Right,
destroy
but
wait,
your
wait,
he
wait,
said
wait.
he
your
Wait,
he
let me
philosophy.
wait. He just
no
said he
wait, let me
prefers that.
wait, let
Yeah,
me
no, but what
yes,
he's
yes,
saying is
wait,
wrong. What he's saying
wait.
is fundamentally wrong from a
No,
mathematical
no, no,
perspective. It's wrong.
wait. Let me elaborate,
What you're
guys,
gonna
please.
add more sprinkles
Please.
on your cake that isn't a cake.
Let
Adding
me
more flakes isn't gonna make it a cake.
because
It's not a
Miguel
cake.
doesn't let
It's a
anybody
piece of
talk.
poop.
He just talk, and you don't let
Dude,
anybody
because you're
talk.
lying. You're saying
Uh,
things that aren't factual, that
well,
don't make
give
any
me one
sense at all.
just give me 1 minute to finish, man. And
Okay,
then you
Okay,
can
dale,
say
dale,
finish.
whatever
dale,
you want to say.
dale.
Okay, so I was saying that in my own opinion, Miguel's idea about homeless people being free is disqualified because they're still under the system,
Bro.
an oppressive system that is built by men, which would
Mhm.
be in the context of a city. Okay, so I don't, for my own personal opinion, I don't view that as freedom.
Okay,
And I'm gonna
When
rebuttal that.
okay,
but okay, keep
for
on going.
me, for, so for me, you need to choose. You want to be under which law? What law do you want to be under?
Uh-huh.
You want to be under the government law, using their fake money and living in their fake cities, eating their fake food and doing whatever their fake things in their. Okay, that you can choose that one. And Miguel says, okay, that one is the best that we have been
No,
able to
don't tell,
build.
Wait, wait, wait,
don't
wait,
don't
let him
argue for
finish.
me.
Let
I'm
him
gonna
finish.
make
Let me
I'm gonna
let me
make my
continue. Let me
argument.
finish.
You
Let me
explain
finish.
yourself
Let me
because
finish.
I'm gonna
Let me
rebuttal
finish.
every single one of your points.
My point of view is that if I could choose, I would choose, and and I know exactly what Miguel is gonna say, and this is what I'm gonna say. You can't, whatever I say, what I want is is pure fiction. Is total. Is all
But what do you
fictional.
what do you want
Why?
ultimately? That everybody lives in a hut.
Okay,
No,
that's finishing then.
no, exactly. You can't even fathom it because
Yeah, but
we
I
But
already.
I
can't
wouldn't want
believe
to live.
I
I
can't
wouldn't want to
believe
be
that
an
you
indigenous
Okay,
actually I
person.
can't
okay. So
believe
can
that
I
you
rebuttal? Can I
Let me
rebuttal? Can I
finish. No, I
rebuttal?
didn't finish because I didn't
but
finish.
Dude,
No,
you
I
said
didn't
one
finish.
minute, pero tiene 2 horas ahí hablando.
Oh, no, no, dos horas. No
Okay,
son
okay,
dos
dale,
horas.
okay.
dale, dale.
Because, because the amount of people that you have inside in the world today, there's not enough natural resources if you haven't hacked it. If you haven't hacked it, or if you haven't created like the industrialization and the infrastructure to feed this, to feed these kind of things. Because the my point of view is where I'm coming from is technology for me is actually something negative. Technology is actually when you see something getting spoiled, when something
Okay,
is
but
getting
now you're
rotten.
talking about
Wait,
technology. Dude, come on, get to
No,
the
no,
point.
wait.
Get to the point.
Yes, but
Get to the point.
technology is this technology
Wait, you were
perverts
talking about
everything.
freedom. What does
Wait,
technology have to do with freedom?
it's connected. It's very close because technology is what what allows the system to be perverted to the degree that is perverted today. That you have all these people that shouldn't exist actually because
Basically
actually
he's
a
saying
natural
Okay,
he's
let
saying
him
like
wait,
finish. I want him
unnatural.
to finish
wait,
because
let me
I have to
finish.
rebuttal.
A natural system is going to kill just the right amount of people and just keep alive the right amount of people so there could be harmony between nature and the people that live within that naturist place, right? So if you alter the system, if you start hacking the system and you start injecting technology and you start putting things inside, then you're going to have what we have today, which I'm against. I'm totally against that. So what I'm saying is, for me, the ideal system is cut technology, cancel it, going back to what was before
So
the technology, before
regress basically.
technology started to prepare everything. Yes, regress and then live in harmony as a human being. Live in harmony. Your body
Let
live in
me
harmony.
rebuttal this
it's
guy
Okay,
because
impossible.
he's
It's
that's nah.
impossible.
That's
okay.
Your
Okay,
It's
your
okay.
impossible.
surroundings.
Can I take over now?
With
Can
your
I take
surroundings.
over now? What
Before you do,
the
before
last
you do,
five
I'm just
minutes
saying
of you talking, the last 5 minutes of you talking, literally got millions of people killed. That is Mao Zedong, who's the Karl Pox 101. That's
No,
literally what he tried to do.
no,
No,
yeah,
no,
no,
no. That's
yeah,
literally what he tried to
no,
do. He said
no.
technology's bad. This nonsense, and he went and he killed all these people. He killed all these people
yeah,
because of that same exact ideology that you're
yeah.
spouting.
No,
Literally,
So
exactly the
wait,
same
wait,
thing.
wait,
no,
Yes,
Miguel. Before you
yes,
keep on going,
that's his
before
theology
before you keep
101.
on going,
And
can I ask him? Can I
now
ask
I'm gonna
Gabriel a
no,
destroy you.
question? Can I?
And now I'm gonna.
If we
no.
get rid of technology, you don't think millions of people will die?
But that's what I'm saying. That what I'm saying can't be fathomed because we're already too far down the line. It's like you guys want to
Yeah,
fix
what you're
something that
saying
is
doesn't
already.
make sense. Basically, we understand
but
that it doesn't
the
make
thing
sense.
is
No,
that
I'm
these
no,
points were
I'm
already raised. These points were already
okay.
raised by Ted Kaczynski when he wrote
Yes,
the Industrial Society and its Consequences. You know what I mean?
yes,
Like,
yes, exactly.
Exactly.
yeah.
I
So
Okay,
what you're
but
saying
can
is
I
that
can I
Industrial
okay, now
Society and
I'm
its
gonna rebuttal this
consequences
guy
have been a
because
disaster.
look, I'm gonna
wait, but
rebuttal this guy because
let me.
I let you
Okay,
talk enough.
Okay,
Let me
I'm
dale,
saying
rebuttal you,
dale.
and then you
what
can give your
what I'm
second
saying.
point.
The
Let
ideal
me.
scenario for me is the Garden of Eden. That's where I'm going to.
Yeah,
The
but that's
perfect garden
impossible. Okay,
that
Miguel.
sustains.
That
But that's impossible.
Okay, but
So
okay.
okay, so you talked a
Yeah,
lot of stuff that didn't
yeah.
make
it's
sense, and
impossible.
then you
Okay,
reverted
it's
to something.
impossible. It's impossible, but it's the original idea by the creators.
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
would
It's the
but
sound.
original idea by the
I
creators.
already established that we fucked that up.
But I think you sound
Because
as
I already
foolish
told you.
as
Because
a
Yeah,
look, if you look
communist
at
that
my
would say,
argument, look, if you
Pardon?
look at my
yeah,
argument from the beginning, look, if you look at my argument from the beginning, my argument was sound because my argument said, irrespective of how I feel emotionally connected to this argument, irrespective, I said it was the best system that we had in place compared to all the other systems,
yeah,
including the nonsensical system that you just tried to lay out
yeah,
a couple of seconds ago. Now,
yeah.
I'm going to rebuttal your statement because you said that those people that I mentioned were not the freest people. They are the freest people. They are the freest people ever to have ever existed. Why? because they lived in the most controlled time of human history, yet they have no one to answer to. Literally, it doesn't get any more free than that. Yes, do they have anything? No, but they don't need to because they're 100% free. Now, you said that you wanted a system in which people had freedoms. People are allowed to have freedoms. That system doesn't exist
That's
because
not true. That's not
by
what I said.
nature,
That's not
by
what I said.
nature, yes, you did.
I
By
said
nature,
everybody
we
has to
can.
be under a law, and you have to choose what law you want to be under. So don't say something I didn't say.
Yeah,
No,
but
no.
within the
And I
law,
said you
But
need.
you
within the
said,
law of
but you
nature.
said no. But you said that that law. You said that that
No,
law
you
was
need to
either
choose.
Mother
You need to
Nature
choose
or
one. Exactly.
society
Look,
or yeah,
Gabriel. I also
exactly. And I'm
Gabriel.
saying, and I'm saying that that's not true. And I'm saying that that's not true
And
because
Could I
I
just
don't
say that?
believe. I don't
Could I
believe
just
in
say
the
that?
law of nature. There is no such thing as the law of nature. Every single law that there is that has ever existed is a law by man for men, encompassed by men and developed by men and
Not really.
deployed
and,
and
Not really.
yes, of course,
and Gabriel,
Not
I
of
really.
also
course.
think
No.
I
Not
also
I'm
really.
think
just
it. Wait,
saying.
can I just
100%.
say
You
something?
Within the
having to
law.
drink
Within the
water,
law of
you
nature.
having to drink water and you having to eat is not a law. That's not a law. That's just what you need to do to survive.
I know, but there's
A law is saying if
no.
my ankle is broken, I need someone else on the in my tribe to go get some water. That's a law.
Yeah.
And you cannot exist in this experience, in this reality, without those laws. And as soon
No,
as
but
you
I'm talking
accept that
about.
you
And
cannot
I'm talking
and
exist with
about the
and
those
laws.
Gabriel,
without those laws,
Gabriel, wait,
you
wait,
need to
wait.
come up with a system.
And I also
I'm
And the
and
talking about the
system,
wait,
the
laws
I
of
want to say
nature.
Gardner-Eden
something. I want
system
to say
doesn't
Summer,
something.
work.
Wait, I want to say
winter,
something. Gabriel,
summer, winter, fall,
no,
spring,
I also
this
want to
kind
say
of things,
something.
and the cycles of life,
You can't
But
say,
that's those laws.
everything has a
but
cycle.
Those
wait,
laws aren't human
but
laws,
wait,
and they don't apply to
you
humans.
can't.
Exactly,
I'm
that's
just
what
saying
I'm
that
saying. But
even if
you
you
have to
wanna, can I
you
just
have
say
to live
something?
within that. You
Even
have to
if you
live
wanna
within
take that
that
No,
to
you're
that
that's a
system,
system.
that
That's a
cycle.
system, but that's not a law.
Exactly.
That's a system.
But they're governed by is a system governed by laws.
yeah, but can I
Yes,
just say
but they're not
something?
our laws.
If
They're
you
not
want
our
to take
laws.
that, if
So
you want to take that
you need
system to
to
the extreme,
you need,
if you want to take that system to the extreme, you can look at the Native Americans before the West came into the states, and they were governed by the laws of what you say nature, because they worked through the seasons, they
yes,
hunted,
But they
they
I
weren't.
also
hunted.
They
but
Well,
weren't.
no, but
They
what I'm
weren't.
just saying,
Even
what
they
I'm just trying
weren't.
to say, what I'm just trying to say is that they would all kill each other anyway. Like if you live in
Exactly.
this society that is without governance, you're
Yeah.
just going to get killed by a tribe that's stronger than you.
Exactly.
That
yes,
if
but
they didn't
exactly,
get, if they didn't hunt
but
something that month and you did, they're just going to come kill you for what you hunted. So
Exactly.
I
the
understand. I
it's
understand.
not
But
And
even that
also,
you've created a
Gabriel,
fairy tale,
I
it's
want
that
to
you've
say,
created something that is, it's like you might
yeah,
as well say that you want a society where everyone's a billionaire and can do whatever they
but
want because
no,
it's that
but no,
unrealistic.
but
exactly.
I also no, but I also find that kind of silly in the sense that that because you're looking at it from your perspective, you already put yourself on the I had a better experience than them.
No, no,
My
no, no,
experience
no.
is better
But you can't
because
wait.
No,
But wait,
maybe maybe
the
maybe
point I'm trying to
maybe
make
because
is,
you're valuing
Gabriel,
it because
Gabriel, you can't
I can
come.
buy food whenever I
Espérate,
want
you
to buy
can't
food.
come and
I
you
can
can't
go
tell
to the
me, Gil.
supermarket whenever I want.
Dude,
Espérate,
but
espérate.
No, but
But wait,
by
you,
definition, by definition, and categorization, this is the best system we've ever had.
but wait, exactly. You can't come and
Because you can go
you can't
into a
tell me, Gil,
supermarket
that
and buy food.
you can't
Because you
wait.
can go and you can
You
start
can't
drawing
come and you
tomorrow
can't
if
tell
you
me,
want.
Gil, that his system is trash, and then come up with a system that doesn't even
no, I'm
exist,
not.
and it can't even exist in
Exactly.
any like you. That doesn't even make
Exactly.
sense.
Exactly. And then
No,
I
say
can't
and then
come,
saying
and I
no,
can't.
I
Wait,
can.
wait, wait,
Paul
wait,
Pox,
wait.
Paul
Espérate.
Pox.
You're a
No,
chef. You're a chef. You
no,
can't
What's the
come and
guy's
you can't
name?
tell someone's recipe is shit, and then give them a recipe that has imaginary ingredients that don't even exist on planet Earth.
no,
That
but
doesn't even make
it's
sense,
but
bro.
no,
Like, oh no, your
no, but
recipe is shit. I'm gonna
Alex.
give you a better recipe, and you give me ingredients that don't exist.
Okay, but let's is historically let's go again. That system did exist.
Yeah, and it was
That
trash, and
system did,
it got
and it
crushed by a better
no
system.
it no and
Yeah,
it
the
worked. It
indigenous
worked until
people were
somebody
with that
fucked up.
system, and
no,
the
no,
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 I'm
no,
not
no, no.
talking about. No, wait. I'm not talking about
and
indigenous
anyways,
people.
I
I'm talking
wouldn't want to
about
live
Adam
in
and
a
Eve.
hut. I prefer to
No,
live with a house, with a
no.
roof, with a
I'm talking
fridge,
about
with
Adam and Eve,
food.
bro. I'm talking about Adam and Eve. I'm talking about Adam and Eve, which are historical characters,
Well, but in
But
and
that,
which
what
are
but
what you're forgetting to omit from that story and that analogy is the difference that Adam and Eve didn't have consciousness.
exactly, they didn't.
They weren't conscious beings.
They weren't abiding by the same rules. They were
I
without
They
think
didn't
they
sin.
were
even know
conscious.
they didn't even know they were naked.
Exactly.
I think they
Miguel,
were
your
conscious.
camera.
They were very
Well,
conscious.
I mean, they were
Miguel, your
conscious in a
camera got.
sense, but they didn't have human
Yeah, I need to fix
consciousness.
this thing here.
They ate of the fruit of knowledge, but that knowledge
Exactly.
isn't like the
And
knowledge of it.
and
Basically,
I can't say your system is shit, and I don't need to have an answer to it. Why not?
but you're
Your
saying that
system
the best
system is
system that we
shit.
can have is the system of Adam and Eve, and we fucked it up. But what I'm trying to say is that in that the only way that system would even work is if you have people that don't have the knowledge of their own consciousness, because the fruit of knowledge is the conscious human being coming into life,
Exactly.
seeing your partner and saying, "Oh, we're both naked, we're embarrassed." Now we know kind of that spark is what is gonna take us out of the garden and then make me kill my old brother. If you want to go biblically with it, but
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
like, even within the only thing that corrupted that system wasn't humans. It was, in the biblical story, Satan coming in and corrupting and doing that. But
Mm.
before that, they weren't conscious beings, so they weren't human in the like thinking sense. So this system, even if you wanted to implement it as it were in the creation, you would need to remove consciousness from humans, which
Yeah,
I
I don't know
believe
what.
will happen.
I
Which I
don't
believe
know.
will happen anyway. Like, if you want to talk about like heaven or eternity,
Yeah,
right? If you want to
yeah,
talk about in the Christian sense, heaven and eternity is the removal of the conscious being of humans. You know what I mean?
mhm, yeah.
Because the only way you can go worship God for eternity is if you're not, you know, it's not going to be like they can't make me worship God for eternity, because my consciousness, it will be a clean slate.
Well,
You won't,
I understand
you
what
know
you
what I
mean.
mean?
I understand. I'm not, and again, I'm not saying that I have all the answers. I'm just saying, okay, in the
Dude, but
beginning,
the thing is, if you read, if for anyone who's watching and is listening to you speak, if you read what you thought your utopia was, it's 100% Pol
no,
Pot,
Miguel, I disagree with you.
Cambodia.
Stop
Literally,
that.
literally.
No,
If
no,
you
no, no,
read
no.
everything that they wanted to do, it was take people back to the Garden of Evil, Garden of Eden. Sorry.
No, 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 no.
Well, actually, it
Okay, I'm
became the
saying that.
Garden of
No,
Evil
I'm saying
because
that for me.
literally,
No, I'm saying that for me. I'm not saying that as I want to
yeah,
build a
and that's
system
what
for
he
this.
said for
I'm
him. That's
talking.
what he said
No,
for
I'm
himself.
talking.
Oh, I'm just saying that for me. I'm just saying that for me. For me, I think my reign as Pol Pot is to have everyone be in the Garden of Evil. Oh, how do we do this? Oh, okay,
but
we kick everyone out from the
I have
cities.
a question
Oh,
now.
listen,
For
I
Miguel,
We
wait,
force
don't care.
everyone to
Okay,
be
you can,
farmers.
wait.
Miguel, you can
Come
compare me
on.
with Papa or whatever. You can do whatever. I
But
don't care.
that
I
no,
still
what
don't
I'm
care.
Can I
saying is that the
can I
theology,
I
what
don't
you were
care.
saying
I
as
don't
your
care,
utopia was
bro.
exactly what they tried to do
I
okay,
don't
in
care,
Cambodia.
especially coming from you. I don't care. I
Miguel,
don't
I
care.
have a
Whatever you
question.
What do you
say
mean,
is
especially coming from you?
it,
What's that
it,
supposed to mean?
it doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean anything to me because my mind is already set. The way that I
Your
think is
mind has
already.
already said that you're Pol Pot's fanboy.
Mm, okay, it's a funny
No,
joke, but
no, but
Okay.
I just
still,
think that ultimately you would say, like, you want to be transcended into the spiritual
no,
realm, which
no.
we all
I
want to.
yes,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah, yeah. But again, I'm 100% against the government. I'm 100%
But
against
that
any
has nothing
government.
to do with
I'm
what
one.
we were
Wait, let
arguing.
me
That's
finish.
my
I'm
point.
100% against technology. I'm 100% against technology. Again, I'm 100% against technology, and that doesn't make me a Popo fan or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
because
it.
Pol Pot was
That's
100%
that,
against
And also,
technology.
wait.
but
I
that
think our
doesn't mean that
He
viewers are.
viewed
I think
that
our
technology as
wait,
being a bad thing.
Gabriel. I also think our viewers are
I
gonna find
view
that
technology
ironic
as a
that you're
bad thing.
100% against
So that's what I
technology, and
mean.
you
So
have
you know,
earphones, an Apple Watch.
So
You
what?
benefit from
Who
all
are you?
the.
So what? I don't
so
care.
okay, so okay, so okay, so
You're
okay,
like
so
the Messiah or somebody that you have all the truth and everything, and we all have to bow down to you and follow you and whatever you say.
no,
I need to so I need to change. I need to change how I feel about the world because I
no,
work
No,
with
dude. But the
Papa.
No,
thing
I
is,
no.
don't care.
if
I
I
don't
walk
care.
into, if
But
I
that
walk
doesn't
into
make
a
me. It
kitchen,
doesn't
if
make
I
me a
walk
mass.
into a
It
kitchen
doesn't
and
make
I
me a
say,
mass murderer.
"Who's the baker here?" and there's a guy full of flour all over himself, he's full of flour, and he says, "It's not me, it's
Again,
not me."
again,
He's the
but
cook. He's the guy
again,
he's the guy
again.
baking the cakes. You know what I
Again,
But
mean?
I
So
don't
you can't.
care.
But
can
can I just say?
really,
Can I just say? Wouldn't we all agree like that? We don't like the government, and we don't like,
Yes.
you know,
well, if we
the
have to,
but
I mean, that's
but
besides the
I don't
point.
understand. I
Like,
find it quite insulting. I quite find quite insulting that I'm saying that I'm against the government when Paul Pot, the first thing that he did was implement government.
no, he
So
didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
he
All the
had
can I just say?
administration,
bureaucracy, all
Can
the
I wait?
politicians, he
Can I
got
just
rid of
say?
them.
Can I
He
just
got
say?
rid
I
of the
don't even
government.
know.
but he was
I don't even know who Paul
he
Pot is.
I don't know who Paul Pot
he
is.
created his own government. He created
What's
his
that?
own government.
We don't know who
I
Paul
don't
Pot
No,
even
he
know who
is.
Paul
didn't.
Pot is.
No, he didn't create his own government. He had
Yes, he
laws.
created.
No, no, he didn't. They didn't have a KGB style government. They didn't have police. Dude, they literally did exactly what you said.
No,
They
that's not
killed
true.
Wait, but
all
That's
the
not true.
who
That's
is
in
not true.
this?
Cambodia. Research it in Cambodia. This guy took over with Gabriel's theology, literally
Again,
100%
again.
word for word.
Well,
And they
okay,
said,
okay.
we're going to turn
Again.
Cambodia
It's for
into the
okay,
Garden of Eden.
okay.
That's what he said.
Again,
And they killed all the professors and all the doctors and all the technology. They literally took the country back to the Middle Ages. And they did not have a police, and they did not have mayors and politicians. They didn't. They killed all of them. What they
bro,
did is they had
that was a Western experiment, bro. That was a Western experiment.
Okay.
What
So
happened in
every
I
Cambodia?
have
single
a
time.
question.
Then it's a Western experiment. Oh my
Bro, but
goodness
that's the truth.
me,
I have a
Bro, what?
question then.
Jesus!
It probably
That was the truth.
was though.
It
the
could
truth.
have been, but it doesn't take away the fact that it's exactly what he was defining as
No.
his ultimate utopia.
But
So
Gabriel,
obviously,
wait.
I'm not
I also
I'm
don't
not
you find that?
defining
Don't you
anything as
find
an
that? Don't you
ultimate
find that?
utopia, bro.
Gabriel, don't you find that ironic
dude,
that
you
you
know
say?
we can rewind
Espérate.
this.
Espérate, don't you find that ironic that you say you're 100% against technology and all this, but you have like an Apple phone, like you have like the
But
earphones,
bro, that's
latest.
the same. It's the same. I've heard this a
No,
thousand
because
times.
you can still
It's
hate
fucking
it. Like
ridiculous. Every time I hear it, it's like your brain doesn't work in the sense that
I
it's a
agree with Gabriel on that
it's a,
one, just
it's a
because, yeah,
circular
yeah.
it's
exactly.
a fucking circular
Just
argument.
because you have a
It's
technology,
like
you
saying
can still hate something.
yes,
I
it's like
guess.
saying
Yeah.
I think
it's
I think the fact that you say you hate it is probably doesn't help you. It doesn't help fight your argument. You could
I
say I
don't care,
despise it,
bro.
or you could
It's
say,
I'm not
or you
gonna
could say
I'm not
I think it's had a negative impact on society
no
or whatever. But to say you
no
hate is a
no I'm
strong
not
Miguel,
word.
I have a
I
question
don't
now. You
care.
said
I'm
you
not
said
gonna abide. It's you keep on trying to mold. You keep on trying to mold, and you keep on trying to say this is acceptable and this is not acceptable, and don't behave like this and don't behave like that. Stop it. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Stop it.
It's not like there's a like yeah, it's true. It's not
Famous
like
thing that means.
you sound like Paul Pot. You can't go there. Or you can't
I
do
have a
this or you
question to
can't say
Miguel
that.
then.
No, but I don't think we're saying that you can't. You can go wherever you want.
No,
Yeah,
Understand
yeah,
I'm
that?
yeah.
just
I don't think
criticizing
anyone's
your
saying that.
ideas, man. I'm not saying that you can't have them. I'm just criticizing them
Miguel, you don't think
because to me,
you said the system nowadays is the best system we can come up with, but don't you think the system we have is changing to something worse?
no, I don't think so. I don't think it's changing to something worse. I think it's
I don't
changing
know
to.
about that one.
I think it's changing to something different, and it's gonna affect some people more than others. But you have to take into consideration that every system is implemented by the people who want to implement that system. The people who want to implement the system that is coming now, the system is actually going to work much better for them, and it's going to be much more efficient for the things that they need and the things that they
But
want.
wait, what do
Is
you
it going
think?
to affect a lot of
But
people? Hell yeah,
what do you see? What do
absolutely.
you mean by better? Aren't people gonna be sadder, fatter, slower, unhealthier?
Yeah, but
How is that
that doesn't
better?
necessarily mean that. No, because I'm talking about the system. I'm not talking about humans per se.
Well, but the
I'm not
humans.
talking about general well-being within the population. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about
But
is
is it
the
something? But
efficiency
wait,
of the system.
but isn't something? Isn't a good system a system that tries to make humans thrive?
No, that would be what you would assume. You would assume that that
For me, the best system is
the
a system.
goal of the system.
Yeah,
You would assume that the goal of the system would be to benefit a certain number of the people in the population. But what if the actual system that you're trying to deploy is a system that only benefits the top
so then it's
10%
not a good
or the top
system. So then
5%?
it's not a good system.
Yes, it is for the 5%.
Well, but
It
not
is.
overall. I think a good system is a system that works for everyone.
Overall for who? Overall
For
for who?
everyone.
For the
For the
for the 95%.
yeah, for the
For the vast majority of people, the
of
system
people.
can have a negative influence on the 95%. It could be
So then
detrimental.
it's not a good
Then you
Absolutely.
system.
can't say that. Then you
But
can't say
you
it's the
can't
best
say that the
system that we
So
system.
have.
that
But you
exactly.
can't say that the system is bad. The system
Of
is
Then you
course it
actually
can't say
very
it's the
is.
good.
best system we have, though.
Exactly.
No, no, no.
If you have a
No,
system,
no, no.
if
Wait
you
a
have a
second. What
system and it
Because
you're
only
talking
works for
about? You're
1% of the
talking about. Wait,
population,
wait. No, what you're talking about is good versus evil. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about
let
efficiency,
me
and I'm talking
point
about,
something out, Miguel. That
metrics.
that there's a group of people that are very similar to me and very different than Pol Pot. Before you make the comparison, and then I prefer that you compare me to them, which is the Amish people who are still living in the U.S. who are against technology. Okay, so they for them it did work out in a different way.
But
So
the
if you're
Amish
gonna
do
accuse,
have technology.
yeah, in a sense, but
Yeah,
not,
but
yes, in a,
yes, exactly. But Pol Pot's technology is even worse
exactly,
than the Amish
exactly. But you
because he was
so
literally having people dig trenches with their hands because he was
yes,
so against technology. So
yes,
it
yes, yes,
really
yes.
depends how
So
you want to look. It depends
yes,
what your stress level is or your threshold. If you say, "Oh, this is how much technology we can have." Candles. Candles is good
well
technology.
that
It's like, wait
that's
a
what
second. What
no
why not
no
just
no
have
no
a
no no.
generator?
But
You know
there's
what
a
I
there's
mean? It
but
starts getting retarded when you start saying a candle is
no no no
good, but
no 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 no
free
no
energy from a light source from solar
no
wind or some
no no no
wind.
no
You know
no
what I mean?
no
Something like that. Oh, that's
no.
already bad. Come
Well,
on, dude.
The
Come on.
Amish have a system actually. The
Who
Amish have a
decides?
system.
Who decides?
Who
Who
decides? Well,
decides?
the Amish have a
The
system that is
Amish.
based on, yes,
Yeah, the Amish decide.
yeah. Well, there it's but it's based on something. It's based on like radioactivity and the effects that electricity have on the body.
It
These kinds of
depends,
things.
dude. Look at the Mennonites.
Bluetooth.
The Mennonites are an offshoot from the Amish, and
Yes, 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 yes,
they had to create their own system because they wanted
yes,
a little bit more technology. And even
yes, 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 yes,
within the Mennonite community, you have a whole range of different
yes,
offshoots
yes.
that
But these are
decided,
all
oh, actually, we want to have
yes,
generators, or we want to have electricity,
yes,
or
yes,
we
yes.
want to have a fridge
Okay, I still want to
Yes,
bring
but
because
it back.
people have
this
been
is
using fridge.
okay. So, but it's not radical to say that you have a group of people that are actually think negatively about the
But
consequences that
okay,
technology has
let me
on
ask
the
you a
human
question.
life, because
Okay, but let
you
me ask
only
you a
live one
question.
life. You only live one life, and you're saying you only live one life, and you're saying that your life is better because you have technology. That's what you're saying,
You
and
have
I'm
more
saying that
choices.
no,
Yes, it's
Yeah,
better.
and
Yes,
and
in every sense,
okay.
it's better.
I think it's
In
better
every
as
sense,
well.
it's
Okay,
better
and I'm saying that,
because you have
I'm
more
saying that
power, you have more control,
And not
you
only
have
that, you have more
more
creativity as
resources
well.
available to you.
Because
I
You have more
disagree with you,
access
Miguel.
to more information, to more knowledge.
yes, but that's
wait,
you. But you're an egocentric. You're an egocentric, greedy, ambitious person that wants certain things of life.
No,
That's what
not
you want,
even,
and
not even. No, not even. No,
fulfill
I'm saying start with a
your
blank
lustful
slate.
desires
No, no,
for
no, no.
achieving
I'm just saying
your
start with a blank slate.
uh
Dude, you
human
want to go
thing,
live?
and
Listen,
then you
you
think,
want to go live
okay,
in the boonies? You can go live in the boonies. No
technology
one's stopping you.
serves me, so
That's the
I'm
system we
happy.
live in
No,
today.
I'm saying technology serves my purposes for reaching my selfish goals, in the sense that I'm not saying selfish in the sense that you're a selfish person. I'm saying selfish in the sense that that is only regarding to
Yeah, but
what
don't
I
use
will,
me as an
how I will live
example.
my
That's what
life.
I'm saying.
No,
I'm
no,
saying
I'm
just
saying you.
get blank slate. Just get blank slate. You can do anything you want today.
But no,
That this has never
I'm not.
happened in the history
Yeah,
of man.
I'm
You want to
saying
have 10 wives, you can have 10 wives.
I'm not using
The
you
reason
as
why
an
I think this is
example.
the best, most
I'm
fairest
I'm
system
not
we've ever
using you
had
as an
is because
example.
you can
I'm
have
not.
whatever you want as long as you can pay for it.
I'm
Literally.
not using you as an example per se. I'm using you as as example versus somebody who is living without technology. So, and then
Yeah, but you could
putting
live
two of
without
wait
technology today. That's
putting
an
yeah,
option.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. But putting the
You
two
didn't have
on
that
the guy,
option in the feudal era.
but
Or the
exactly,
North American Indians didn't have that option,
e-
or the Amish didn't have the Amish
exactly.
didn't have the option to be
But
Amish
your
when they were
okay,
Amish. You
your
see what I mean?
argument,
That's why this is the
yes,
best system we've ever had. Because today you could
your
literally turn around and say, you know what, I want to be an Amish today.
but
No, actually, you
that's
know
my
what?
whole
No, I
point.
want to be a king and have a palace and have
Exactly.
you
That's
know
but
concubines.
Miguel,
You can do that today.
my point is that you're comparing it. What I'm trying to say is, and maybe it's really something difficult to understand. But what I'm trying to say is, you get two people, right? One, he only has one life to live. His life. He was
And
born
he's
and then
got
he
no
died.
options.
Yes. and he has no option. He never lived with technology or anything else. And another one is maybe he lived in the modern era and he was exposed to a
All
lot of technology.
options. Yeah.
And you're saying, and I'm trying to look at it from the outside, and
Hmm.
you're saying the guy who lived the life with technology actually had a better life than the guy who lived without
No,
technology.
that's not what
And
I'm
I'm
saying.
talking
What
about,
I'm saying is his
but
life is
no,
better because he has more options.
and I'm saying because I still
But there's no
because
way
I
to
view
argue that.
exactly because I view technology as a negative thing to the human body, to the mind, to the brain, to the soul, to the heart, to the
Exactly.
organs.
So that guy that
That
you're viewing,
so
he can say no to
so
technology
so
today.
the guy in the feudal era that doesn't have choices actually is lucky because he's not exposed to the guy in the modern era that was exposed to those things that
Mm.
perverted his brain, his heart, his let me give you one example, for example, and it's an example that Jordan Peterson says that is an interesting example that he says that modern men have seen more naked women than a guy in the feudal era that maybe in his whole life he only saw one woman in his whole life. He naked, we're talking about naked, right? And then a guy in maybe in 1 hour he can see one more women than the guy saw in his whole life. Okay, you're saying that's more options, that's better. That's what you're saying, this is better. And I'm saying, how can you measure? Because if you have only one life and you only see one naked woman in your whole life, maybe you cannot compare the, I don't know, I'm
No, but
just, it's
no,
just an
but
argument,
I
right?
understand your argument. I understand your
Exactly.
argument.
Yeah, he
I
does
understand.
have a good point.
Yeah.
No, but he's got a good point in the sense that he's saying which one will have a better effect on the subject. That's not my argument. My argument is which system is better. And the system that you have more options is better. And I'm going to tell you why. Because another thing that Jordan Peterson says that
But
you're
the
excluding
problem
from your
is,
argument. Wait. Just before you say that, another thing that he says is you need to be a monster, because when you're a monster and you can control it, then you know how much power you have, then you know how
Yeah.
strong you are. And it's the same. So the guy who lives in the world today that can see 1,000 women naked in an hour or so, but decides not to do that, is actually better than the
Yeah.
guy who doesn't have an option to do it because he didn't
no,
even
I
have that
wasn't
as
saying
an
that
option.
as
No,
I
so which
wasn't saying that
system is
it's,
better? Which system is better?
but
Still, the
I
system that
wasn't
has the
saying that
more
in a
options is
negative
better
way.
because
I
it
was just
actually
making
shows
the
that
I was just
people
making the
who
examples. And
no, but in that example, that guy's better than the guy who doesn't
but
have to see 1,000 girls, but it
okay,
has the
but
ability to see 1,000. That's what I mean.
okay, okay,
So
but
who's better
what
now?
no, yes, but what I'm trying to say is I'm not saying which one is better, which one is worse. I'm just pointing out
But for
these
either
compare.
way,
And what I'm saying is,
Miguel,
if you
I
look
do
at
if
it
you
I
from
do
a
have
guy
this.
perspective,
wait, I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
something very important to
yeah. Okay.
say for Miguel. If you want to go in this way and you're going to say that more options is better, then you need to define what is to be a human.
What do you
Yeah,
mean? Why?
because that's essentially, yeah, that's essentially what you're doing. You're to say to have more options is better is meaning better for who? Better for the
yeah, I can
for
explain
men,
that.
right? For mankind.
I
So
can explain
then
that.
you need to define why. You need to
Yeah,
define what
I'll
is
define
better.
it. I'll
Because
define it.
if the
Can I
archetype,
define it then?
for example, if the archetype is the
No, but
archetype is
I can
not,
define it.
Okay, go
I can
ahead, Miguel.
define it.
Define it.
let me just say this. If the archetype, right, is
Mhm.
is not to be exposed, is the archetype is not to be exposed, and then you're saying that the archetype has to be exposed, and then which one is better? You understand what I'm saying? You're saying
Yeah,
the arc.
and I could tell you why in every metric, irrespective of how you want to look at it, this system is better. Why? Because one, it gives you more options. Two, it
But
actually has a
but
better way. Wait, it actually has a better way to examine the individual, because now the individual is confronted by more decisions, more choices, more options. So actually, we can determine. And so you said you have to define what is to be human. Well, what is to be human is the pursuit of excellence. So if you're gonna measure the pursuit of excellence for an individual who has zero to no options, where you're gonna then measure the excellence of the same individual, but now he's got loads of options. In which one do you have more magnitude for potential? And which one can we measure and say which one's going to be better?
Okay,
Well, obviously the guy that's
Miguel,
got
I
more
have to push
choices,
back in something.
because the guy who's got less choices,
So
how
I
are you going to measure his potential?
so I agree with you in a sense that having more options is like better or whatever. But the thing is, nowadays the system is pushing people to choose those options when the correct option is to refrain from all these extra things that have been added. Like, and that's where I think that the system is flawed because it's pushing the agenda to overconsume, to overindulge, to
That you
basically,
could argue that that's exactly what the system is designed to do.
yeah. So then it
And the,
shouldn't
and
it
the
shouldn't do
system
that.
was
I think
designed
I
to do
think
that because the
no.
system
I
is trying
think
to find
I
the best possible human beings that could have ever existed ever since the beginning of time.
but it's
Because the way I
but
view
it's
is the way
actively
I
trying
view
to
is
it's
we're
trying
still
to
in the Garden of Eden. We're still in the this is God's system. He created the system.
yeah, but
And the
it's
whole system has been put to a place and it's ramping up and more options are becoming available and more freedom is given because we have to find out more the true nature of man, the full character of man. And you can't do that with a limited number of options.
I disagree with
Because then
Miguel.
that's gonna be confined into that limited amount of space. How
but
do
I
you
disagree. I
no,
measure
totally
fully
but I
disagree.
have to
the,
say
the
something. So
full potential of a man? You know what I mean?
I disagree.
If you never had cakes to eat, then how
yeah,
are you gonna get fat?
but the problem is
So how is that guy really gonna be strong?
but the
The
problem
strongest guy is the
no
guy who's exposed to cake, but he doesn't. He
no
eats
but
meat instead, and he
shouldn't
becomes.
shouldn't the system be trying to train people to be stronger and try to excel because that's the
No,
way
the
people.
system is trying to find the system is trying to find your greatest potential.
Yeah, but
But
how is it
I
trying to
also
find?
I
disagree
don't
And
with you.
believe that.
how do you
I
find your greatest
disagree with
potential?
all of it,
How do you find
No,
and
your
I
greatest
find it
potential?
silly also.
the
I
whole
don't
system
believe in
is
that.
built so that
But you
you
don't
don't.
believe the system
No.
is designed to find your greatest
No, I
potential.
think the system is built to destroy your potential, and the people that excel from that are anomalies.
But
But
even
it's
the
all
Yeah.
about
people, for
perspective,
example,
dude. You can
let
be
me give an
negative or you
example.
can be positive. You
Wait,
want to look at
let,
it from a
let me,
negative way, you're obviously going to
No,
say that.
because
but for
the
But
example,
system
that's
let me
that's
get
a scapegoat. That's a scapegoat.
let
because
me
Oh,
the
the
give an
system
system is
example.
against
could
me.
be built the same exact
Let's say
way.
Andrew Tate,
The
right?
system could be
Andrew
built
Tate
the
is
same
a
exact
successful
way
guy.
and still promote like excellence, but it doesn't. It could be built. Everybody has the same exact
Oh,
options
why would the system promote excellence? Why would the system do that?
because it's
If you're trying to find the
beneficial.
greatest potential, if you're trying to unlock the greatest potential, how do you do that? You don't give them easy questions. You don't give them
Okay,
No, but you
I
show
you
have
them
don't
how
give
I
them
to
the
have
answer the
something to
answers
say
to.
question.
about that.
You don't
You
give
show
them the
them how.
I have,
results of the problem.
You,
No, you give them the hardest shit, and then you say, "Let's find out from all these sources here, which one is the one that is the best of all of them."
I
And you
disagree
put
with
it through the
Miguel,
most stringent
and I know
system.
why.
You
Me
become
too.
unstoppable.
Me too.
I disagree with Miguel, and I know
Okay.
why. Now I know why I disagree with Miguel, and and it has to do with the excellence, the pursuit of excellence, because the pursuit of excellence and the system promotes a certain archetype that if you become successful or whatever, this is excellence or whatever. Even you
I'm
can
not
talking
saying that
about.
that's excellence, dude. That's not my
So
definition of
so
excellence.
what? How would you define excellence?
Um, reaching your full potential.
And what is reaching the full potential?
So reaching your full potential is unlocking every single facet, every single character within you that you can unlock
possibly.
to find out truly 100% who you are from 0 to 100 and what your breaking point is. That's it.
I don't understand. Elaborate on that.
Okay, so say for
What do you mean
example,
unlocking? What do you mean unlocking? Like if you're if
okay, unlocking. So
let's say you're a
okay, so
closet pedophile, you have
no,
to
no, no,
unlock
no,
that.
no, no. We don't have to. Again,
No,
that's a negative thing.
I don't know.
But you
I'm
can
just
look at it
asking a
as a
question.
positive. Okay, I'll give it to you in a positive way. So you got a guy who's he's relatively talented when it comes to baking. He bakes cakes, but he works in a little shop, right? How do you unlock this guy's fullest potential, the greatest ideas he has to make the best cake he's ever gonna make ever? You have to give him exposure. You have to give him options. You have to give him all the ingredients. You
I
have to
don't believe
put him out there.
I
He has to cook for thousands of people.
no
He has to
no
be in
no
the most stressful situation so that you
no.
can see at what point is this guy going to break or what's the best cake he could do under these circumstances. Now,
No,
if you're
I
thinking
disagree.
small minded, yeah, you can leave him in a little baking shop and he just makes his little cakes and whatever.
I
And,
disagree.
you're going to
Miguel,
have a
I
small
Okay,
disagree with.
okay,
demographic
okay,
of
okay.
people who
Wait,
are.
I also disagree
let me
with
ask one more
Miguel.
question to Miguel.
Ask a
Like
question, but
Gabriel disagrees. Like Gabriel.
Let me ask one question to Miguel. One more question. Would you say, and it's a two questions in one. Would you say that the only person to actually achieve unlocking all his full potential was Jesus Christ.
Okay, so you're asking if Jesus was the only person to unlock his true potential. Is that what you're saying? His
No,
100%.
I'm asking if he's the only person who fully like committed to excellence and unlocking all the potential that a human can unlock.
No, no, I don't think it was Jesus, and I don't think Jesus would even fall into that category of doing such a thing.
Okay, so then we
Because
disagree on everything.
yeah, because Jesus is a
Yeah,
God.
yeah, yeah.
He doesn't have to unlock anything. He just has to
No,
come
but
do
he
what he
was a
has to
man.
do.
He made himself a man. He lived the
Yeah,
life of a
Yeah.
man.
yeah, but it was easy
Exactly.
for him. He could just lift up one finger, and he had a horde of angels to come down, like he said.
No, no,
So
no, 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 no,
yeah,
no.
he
No, no,
unlocked
no.
what he had to
No,
No,
unlock.
no, no, no,
He-
no,
no,
no.
but
But
he's a
he,
god.
no,
He's
but
a
he
god.
came
He's a
down. No,
creator,
no, no, no,
dude.
no, 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 no. But he came
no,
down as
but
man,
for the
and the
same
whole
Dude, dude,
point. No, the
no,
whole point
dude,
of Jesus.
you don't
The whole point of
understand. You
Jesus.
don't understand. You don't understand. You
You're
design.
you're
You
wrong there.
design
You're wrong there.
Minecraft.
You're wrong
Miguel,
there.
You
hey,
design.
Te
You
fuiste
Miguel,
design
wrong.
and you
Te
script
fu- ahí la
Minecraft, and then you
cagaste.
go
Ahí
into
la
the game.
cagaste.
Come on,
No,
dude.
no, no, no,
no,
no,
You
no,
know
no,
all
no,
the
no, no,
cheat
no, no,
the
codes and
no,
same.
everything.
No,
no, no,
no,
no,
no,
Dude,
no,
because
no, no,
Jesus
no.
did
No,
Earth.
no,
Jesus
because
did
Jesus
Earth on
came
easy
when
mode.
no, when
Easy.
Jesus came, he didn't
no,
come as God.
wrong.
He came as a man, and that's the
Dude,
reason.
he's the
No,
creator of the
no, 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 no,
universe.
no, no,
¿Tú,
no,
tú
no, no,
crees que ese
no, no,
tigre
no,
cogió
no, no,
lucha?
no, no. That's why when he was tempted by
Bro,
the devil.
obviously, bro.
No, no, no. He was tempted by the devil, and the
Are
devil
you
told him,
joking, bro? That's
no, 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 no,
blasphemy.
no,
Fue
no, no,
así,
no,
fue
no,
así.
no, 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 no,
Jesús
no,
llegó
no,
al cielo y hizo así. Abba, Abba.
no, 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 no. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's totally wrong.
No, no,
No, no,
no,
no,
no,
no,
Dude,
no,
bro.
no,
I
no,
mean,
no.
come on. I
No,
mean,
because
come
if it
on.
was plain and
dude, you
easy
know where
mode,
I've heard, look,
no,
you know
you know
where
why
I've
you're
heard
wrong.
this
Sweating
theology
blood.
before?
No,
You know where I've heard
no,
this
the man was
theology
sweating
before?
blood.
Evangelicals. They have
No,
this idea. Oh,
you know why you're wrong, Miguel. You know why you're wrong,
Dios,
Miguel.
Dios. Ay,
You
Dios vino
know,
al mundo.
you know
Dios
why
vino
you're
al
wrong.
mundo.
You know why you're wrong.
Y vino al mundo y grande cosa.
You know
Y
why you're
vino
no,
al
but
wrong.
mundo
we go back to the same
y,
question. Why
No,
can't you say
y,
yes?
you're
The
wrong
question
Bro,
because
y.
he is
he
the
un he
archetype,
unlocked.
and he is the archetype for every human
exactly.
being, not only for men, for women as well. And to
I
go a little bit
disagree.
No,
I
further,
wait.
disagree
there's a for,
100%.
Miguel,
and there's a
I'm gonna tell you
formula.
why you're wrong.
There's a formula
Jesus
because
didn't
he
play
has
it in
he
easy
has
mode. Jesus played it with our same rules, and the reason why is because when he was in the desert and he was fasting for like 40 days, if he wanted to, if he was in easy mode, he would have turned he would have turned the stone to bread and ate
yes,
it. But since he wasn't,
yes,
Yeah, dude,
he
but
was
that's
with
what I
the
mean.
same
But
rules
he's
of
God.
humans.
He's
He
God.
was
He's literally
yes.
God.
no,
He's
but he
Yeah,
literally
was
God.
God in human
He's
but he
form.
literally
made
God.
himself a man.
He
Had
he
to
Yeah,
had the
die
but
for
it
same
doesn't
everybody.
matter. He's
limitations.
still
He had
God. He's
no.
still
He
God.
had the same limitations
No,
of you and
no,
me.
no, 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 no.
He had the same
He had the
limitations
same
of you and
limitations
me,
and the
and he
same
couldn't.
temptations.
I
He
understand, but
he
still,
couldn't
the
jump off.
hardware,
No, he
the
couldn't.
hardware
He
was human,
no, he
but the
couldn't jump.
software
He couldn't
was
jump off a
God. That's the
bridge.
whole
Exactly,
point why we have to
exactly.
be on God mode in order to
Yeah,
do
but
godlike
but
things.
Yeah,
that's what's impressive about it, bro. That's
exactly.
what's impressive about it is
Yeah,
that
it's
he
impressive
being
for us
God.
because we're mere mortals, but for a God, it's
No,
like
no,
No,
that's
no,
bro.
no,
what he
no,
Because
no,
does.
if I
no.
gave you God's powers, if I gave you God's powers, if I gave you
Exactly.
God's
Dude,
powers, and I
Exactly.
gave you this body, bro, you would be an absolute madman.
Exactly.
of course,
So that's
God
why.
would
Yes,
have to
that's
destroy
what's
me.
impressive.
Exactly.
No, that's what's
Exactly.
impressive about it. That's what's impressive about it.
Now,
What's
Is
now,
that
impressive
he
now,
about it
came?
is that
He
he
came.
came
He could have
down
It's
as a
used all the
impressive
human.
for
cheat
us,
codes.
dude, but
No,
not for
he
God.
came.
For God, it's
No,
easy.
he came.
That's what
He
I
could have
mean.
used all the cheat
I
codes,
understand what you
but
guys
he
are
And
trying to
didn't.
say. Yes,
also,
100%, but still,
let me ask
also
one more
not to
it's
question
put
to
the
just
Miguel.
fact that
perspective. At
he
the end of
also
the
had
day,
Let
to
me ask. Let
like
me ask another question. Let me ask another question.
Wait,
it's
wait.
You
Let
just
know
David
what?
finish.
perspective.
Let David finish. That David was gonna say something. What were you gonna say?
no, because I'm
Yes,
just saying
finish.
like you also have to take into account as well that he had the prospect of carrying every single person's sin as well, which he was.
Yes.
I mean, he was sweating blood. Come on, I mean,
And
it's
David,
not.
David, you hit the nail on the head, and that's where my question is coming to Miguel. I want Miguel to, if you know what is um UBP. Have you ever heard about that?
No.
No.
UBP, universal preferable behavior. And the guy that explained the preferable behavior, he said that Jesus unlocked this one, the universal preferable behavior. He unlocked it, and what it means to unlock the universal preferable behavior is means that anything that you do, anything is that you do is the best universal is that is the best. And then if you're doing this one, it's going to affect all the people that are around you. And that's the only reason why you do it, is because you're gonna affect all these people that are around you. It has to be universally on a universal level. So there's certain
So you were
things
gonna
that
ask me a
fall.
question.
No, I was
Yeah,
asking
what
you
was
if
it?
you know if no, I
I
actually thought
think
that you
Okay,
I
I
think I'm
actually
gonna
thought
have
that
to get a
you would
look,
know
minor
about
degree
that.
in Cantonese to understand that.
guys. Let me say. Look, I understand what you guys are saying. That
Yeah.
that he unlocked. But he didn't unlock God-like. He unlocked human-like. So what he did was
Yeah.
he unlocked the best path for humanity in terms of salvation. And with that, I agree with you 100%. And we can argue about whether it was difficult or not. That's
No,
besides
the
the point. I
original
mean,
question
yes
was
or no, it doesn't
no.
matter. I hold the right to change my opinion on that. Yes,
The
if it was
only
difficult
way
or
the only way salvation is valid as a gift is if it was the most difficult task that you can
for
perform
a human,
for a human.
and
Yes.
that's where my
But that's
argument
the
lies.
only way it's paid, like the
Yeah.
Yeah,
salvation is paid
okay,
for.
but you
The
have
only
to take
way
into
salvation is paid
consideration.
for.
Okay, so but you have to take into consideration that Jesus was also an incel. So he didn't exactly,
Tú estás
you know what
pasado,
I mean?
bro. Tú estás pasado, bro.
Uh,
Dude, dude, he was celibate, and he hung around a bunch
I
of
don't.
12 guys who were also celibate,
No, but an incel is
and they
involuntary.
went
So
around,
he
and they
wasn't an
went
incel.
around.
No,
Because
I think
an
he was a
incel
vol cell.
exactly.
He was
Okay, so
voluntary
he was
celibate.
MGTOW. So he was MGTOW. Big deal.
Exactly.
Okay, MGTOW, incel, big difference. You got to
No,
take
it
into
is a big
consideration that
difference.
there was a couple of dudes. Dude, what? He was not. Absolutely, he was.
Yeah, but it's a big difference. It's not like he wasn't. It's not like he was
What
out
do you
there
mean it was a
trying to
big
get
difference?
pussy. I'll say that doesn't make sense.
No, he didn't get married. He didn't get
Yeah, but
married.
he
He
wasn't.
didn't talk
He
about
wasn't
marriage.
trying to. Because that
So
wasn't
that's
his
why I
purpose.
disagree with Gabriel, because Gabriel was saying, oh, and I believe he unlocked that for men and women. It's like, what?
No.
And
He
what?
no.
And
Gabriel's
what?
Gabriel's
And
original.
what? Women don't even fall into that
Gabriel's
category.
original
They
question
don't
was
even fall.
no. Gabriel's original question was: did Jesus fulfill his full potential of a human being? And then that's a yes for me. I think he did.
Did he?
Did he?
Yes,
Did
absolutely,
he unlock his full
100%.
potential? That's what the question
No,
was in
I
the
don't think.
beginning.
That's the thing. I don't think he did. I don't think he did because I think he unlocked what he needed to unlock in order for
Yeah,
us
that's
to
his full
understand who he
potential
was.
because your full potential
But it's
is
unlimited. It's unlimited.
no.
It's unlimited.
No, no,
It's
because I
unlimited.
think your full
It's
potential is only
unlimited.
something that can be like you can't unlock something more than
No,
what you can
I
unlock.
mean, I think like you can't like perfection is the you can't unlock more than that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If you live a
You can
life
only
of
unlock so
perfection,
much. With the cards that you're given, you can only unlock so much. Like I can't
That's okay. So
unlock
what are we saying?
things.
We're saying he unlocked the full because that was the max. Okay,
Exactly, obviously.
the
He
the
unlocked
constraints that he was
he
in.
unlocked
Okay, yes, I agree with you. Yeah,
100%
I
of
agree with
what
you.
he
Yes,
could unlock. Like
that's a
my
solid
full
argument. Yeah,
potential
I agree.
isn't the full potential of somebody else.
Yeah,
We
but it
have
was
different
capped.
potentials.
It was capped. It was capped. It was capped
Well, because
literally
humans are capped.
by the definition of reality. It was capped. So that was it.
yeah.
Yeah.
If we
Then that's
uncapped it, then
100%
yes,
then.
it would be
It's still
more.
100%.
Yeah,
You
it's
can't
100% of
you
10
you can't unlock 110%
of
of
a number.
something.
It's 100% of a number.
Yeah.
If the number's 20,
Yes.
then yes, he did
Yes.
20.
You
Okay, yes. But what
you
I'm saying is that numbers are infinite, and then you can't. And unless you cap something, then you can't define it. And so, if you want to define it, yeah, yeah, okay, I agree.
and then
I'm
and
not
then
gonna.
the
I'm
question
not gonna
is and
argue
then I
against that.
guess Gabriel's question or your question was we have to unlock our full potential. And I think our numbers are different. Like Jesus' number was probably a 10, mine is like a 2. My full
Yeah, but
potential is like a 2.
my answer to Gabriel is, how do we know what our number
And
is
then no, and then my
if we're not in the most stringent society, in the most
yeah.
stringent system that gives us the
And
most
then
options,
I'm saying the
so that we
system
can
is
reveal that number?
the system. What do you think if the system was built different? More people would unlock their full potential.
No, but that's the whole point. What you're trying to do is not unlock people's potential. You're not trying to see how many numbers people have. What
Well,
you're
why
trying to
not?
see is
Why not?
who is
Isn't that the whole
able.
point?
No, because
I
that's what you're
think
trying to.
yeah.
That's what you're trying to find out. You're trying to find out who is able to unlock it.
Yeah,
despite the
I
scenario.
And
think
if you make
though
it
that I would
easier for
agree,
them, you know what I
Miguel.
mean?
I would agree with you. I would agree with you if like the system was like indifferent. You know, if the hardships were there, but
No,
the
it has
system
to
was
be. It
indifferent.
can't be indifferent. It's a
It's
relationship.
malicious.
It
It's
has to be
malicious though.
against. It has to be malicious because you're trying to find the best. You see what I
But
mean? It's
you're
like
not
playing a
trying to
video
find
game,
the
a
best, because
shooting
if you
video
find
game.
the best,
You're
you're
not
gonna
gonna
get
play an easy
squashed.
video game. You're not gonna. It's like playing. It's like playing a first player shooter with aimbot. No, you're gonna take the aimbot off because you're trying to find to
Yeah,
see
but
who's got the best aim.
the system that we have now is like you
Dude,
have to
because we're
play the
getting to the
game.
last levels, dude.
No, but I'm just saying
Obviously,
that
the more
the
you
system that
progress
we have
into a
now.
game, the harder the levels are gonna get.
No, no,
They're
no.
not gonna
The
get
problem is
easier.
that if the game was fair, you could be the best at it. There's gonna be people that
The
play
game is not supposed to be
shooters.
fair. That's the whole point. It's the guy who can
Yeah,
beat
no,
the
no, no, no.
cheaters.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing is that the game, it's not that it's not fair. Is that some of the buttons on the controller are disabled.
Exactly.
You literally can't use them.
Okay,
So
okay. So who's better? Who's better? The guy who actually won the game with disabled buttons, or the guy who had all the buttons on the that worked? They were all
no,
matched.
because
Obviously, the guy who.
because some people get all the buttons
What do
in
you
this
mean? Some
system.
people get all the buttons.
With this system, some people get all the buttons. And some people don't get any buttons disabled, and
No,
some people don't even have a controller.
everybody gets the same. Everybody
Nah,
gets the
bro,
same.
por
Bueno,
favor.
Yeah, everybody gets the same. When it comes to
This
unlocking,
this
look,
system, this
no, because
system.
everybody's number is different. Not everyone can be Jordan Peterson. Not everyone can be Jesus. That's the whole point. The whole point is that you're trying to find
Ultimately,
people that are like Jesus. You see
okay.
what I mean?
Ultimately, this system, ultimately, and technology. What technology is leading us, is leading humans, is to transhumanism, which is basically is gonna be the end of humans as we know them, and uh,
Yeah, we're gonna
a
become
new,
God.
not gods. We're gonna become machines, man.
No, no,
Controlled
no, no.
by a small group of
Dude,
people.
where
That's
does it say that in
that's
the
what.
Bible?
Pardon?
Where does it say that in the Bible? Because I never read that part.
That is kind of
The
true.
Bible, no, the Bible says that the
That we're gonna
system
be
that is
coming
being built.
to computers.
No, it's no. Everybody's
AI.
gonna receive. No, everybody's gonna receive a mark.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna receive a mark,
No,
and
no. It
and they
says
won't be
some
able to.
people. It says some people will receive the
Well,
mark.
we're talking about the system and the people
Yeah,
that live in the system, and that's
exactly.
basically what's happening to the system, and everybody's gonna have to worship the beast and that system. So that's
And
where
who do you
technology
think
is
the
leading.
beast is? Who do you think the beast is?
Mm,
I don't know.
Beast is the beast, man. Is the something malevolent. It's something that is
The for
that is
me the
perverted.
beast
Something that is wicked.
is the transgendered male.
It's gonna be a transgender dude.
No, no, is the transgender
No,
male.
bro, that doesn't make sense because the
The beast.
Antichrist is gonna be like a dude.
No, the Antichrist is gonna be male and female
Well, yeah,
together.
but it's gonna be still like one person. It's not gonna be a lot
It's
of
gonna
people.
be non-binary. It's gonna
Yeah, but
be
still,
that's where
though.
we're headed. That's
Well,
the
but
whole
that
Bueno,
point.
if you
Or it could be
if you hear
AI. Because I
if
think
you hear the researchers that talk about
Or it could
transhumanism.
be AI as well. It could
yeah,
be
that's what
AI.
I
I like
said.
that one. That one's good.
Because I think
It could be AI.
where we're going now is
That literally defines the beast.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's a
yeah.
beast. It's
Gonna
not.
it's gonna
It's something
Wow.
sentient.
look.
When you talk about the beast, you're talking about the Antichrist.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes,
something
yeah,
sentient,
yeah,
but it isn't
yeah.
human.
So the thing is, the
And
world
that's
has
why
to get
God calls it the
the
abomination as well,
exactly
because it's
the
like
world
a
has to get to
creation
a
of man.
point. The world has to get to a point where everything's gonna be in order, like destruction. And what's gonna fix it? AI is gonna come and it's gonna be like, look, I'm AI. I have all the answers because I'm literally AI and I'm better than humans. And it's gonna give all the answers and it's gonna start fixing the problems in the world. And then lo and behold, it's gonna be like,
People are gonna start worshiping it.
if
Yeah.
you want to become
Well,
part of the AI program, you have to get the barcode, and
mm,
then you're gonna have to.
I disagree.
There's a similar idea like this in Westworld. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah,
not watched it anymore, but there's like this Rehoboam AI system
yes,
that
yes, yes.
decides what everyone is
Mm.
gonna do.
But
You know what I'm
that's what
talking
I was
about,
gonna
Gabriel?
say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That yeah, but that's what I was gonna say. That for me, when
The-
people talk about the AI and when people talk about artificial intelligence and technology and all these things, and again, I'm totally against technology. But the way that I see it is that all the technology that we have in the world today is not uh, is not like coming because humans were smart and we found out some new things and we discovered new things. I think it's just being downloaded from the spiritual world, spiritual realm, right? It comes through the spiritual world and it comes into our world and then it affects our world, right? And then for the I think there's a big a, we have this big push right now in entertainment and in media, and then the whole system is pushing like this narrative that AI is like this artificial intelligence. It doesn't even mean anything. It's just semantics, right? But what I always think is that 100% for sure there's going to be a spiritual energy behind the artificial intelligence, which is going to be the sentient part of that AI, and which is going to be the malevolent part, the
Okay.
demonic side of artificial intelligence, which is going to be driving the whole thing. That's why I'm against technology, because I think since all this technology that we have today, is the phones and the cars and the airplanes and the everything, is all a push from the spiritual realm. Is a way of uh, trapping consciousness, human consciousness, and diverting it from the real world and connecting it into this digital world, digitizing human consciousness. That's basically what technology does. At its best, technology, if you reduce it, what it does is divert human consciousness into a digitizes human consciousness. That's what technology has been doing. Because when you look at your phone, when you look at the computer, when you're watching a movie, you're digitizing your consciousness. Your consciousness is not in the real world. You're not looking at a real tree. You're not looking at the at the river. You're not looking at the mountain. You're not looking at something real. You're digitizing your consciousness. Your consciousness is being digitized into a like fake world. Understand? So that's what I see technology does. And if you accelerate it, if you make it bigger and bigger and bigger, it can only go into one way. It's basically a black hole, and it's sucking consciousness into that black hole because it's actually fake. It's not real. Like right now, I see you guys. You guys are real. You're in the UK, everything like this. But when I'm watching a video on YouTube, or when I'm playing a video game, or when I'm playing with my phone or something, that's not real. It's real, but it's not real. You understand what I mean? It's like
Mm.
a fake reality, and your consciousness is not in the real world. You're not engaging in a real relationship. You're not engaging with something that is real. So essentially,
So
that's what
you're saying my
technology does.
waifu is fake?
And then no, but the interesting thing is the
I'm
most
gonna kill
fascinating
myself.
thing. No, this is really fascinating. Animals, they can't connect. Animals can't connect. Animals, their consciousness cannot go inside the black hole. And if you see the space odyssey, the space odyssey looks that the rectangular thing looks same like my phone. I always think that maybe they were already thinking about something like this when they made the movie. Like this is the black hole. This is the thing where we're gonna suck everybody into it. And so there's like a spiritual thing behind all that, because
Mm.
God is in the real world.
That's
He's not.
interesting. That's interesting because I've noticed this phenomenon with kids, with kids videos, with kitty viddies. Like, it's difficult to get a child engaged in like an adult entertainment type of thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you put a movie, even it can be very good, like it can be violent or it can be explosive or have a lot of energy, and a child will just not, like, the smaller they are, the more childlike it has to be. Like, they have all these cartoons, but what I found fascinating is that if you watch the baby channel, and I know that because I had a baby and the baby was watching the baby channel, literally what they had on there was so far
Advanced.
away. No, it was so far away from what we would consider to be adult entertainment that it was literally like, and it wasn't even that it was retarded, it was just so simple, but it captured the attention of the child, of the baby. Like, it literally, like, the way that I view it is, what is, you had 10 adults in the room and they were all looking at this TV, they'd be like disinterested in like 2 seconds. But as soon as babies walked into the room, or you brought babies into the room, they'd be captured by it. So maybe the same thing happens for animals. Like we haven't found a form of entertainment that we can give to animals where we can feed them, like draw them in. You know what I mean?
Man,
And maybe it's just because they're on a
there's a lot
different
of ways of
mind wave.
entertaining
You know what I
animals,
mean?
but there's a lot of ways of entertaining animals, but they all have to do with the real life, like throwing a ball.
Yeah,
Man,
throwing a
you can
ball.
get
Yeah,
dogs
exactly.
No, but
freaking crazy
I've
with
seen
throwing balls.
dogs like or and cats, you know, looking at iPads
Yes,
and
yes,
like
yes.
playing with them and shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen
Yes,
that as
yes, yes,
well.
yes, yes. But
Yeah.
it's not really like they're into it. It's not really like us. Like we can really go inside. We can really go into it.
Guys, I do want to point out we've been going on for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Just to let that
Yeah,
everyone
I
know.
need
Yes.
to. Yeah, I need to. I need to go.
Yeah.
So, but I think
All right, guys.
this was pretty cool.
Yeah,
We
so
had
let's
some.
keep
It was a
it.
good
Let's
one,
keep
yeah.
it, Alex. Let's keep the next one for 2 hours because if we start at the at 5:30 or 6, because Reese needs to go to bed. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But eso fuiste
yeah,
tú que llegaste tarde.
Yeah, but you were
Okay,
the one that was late today.
Tú llegaste a las 6.
dude, because I forgot. I forgot. No,
were the
because
one
it's
that
a
All right.
bank
took the longest.
holiday,
See you
dude. I
next
thought it
time,
was
guys.
Sunday today.
But not.
I thought it was
All
It's
right.
Sunday.
over, guys.
Gabriel,
See you
cuídate.
later.
No te
All right.
apures. Okay,
It's
guys,
over.
take
Nos
care.
vemos.
All right.
Thank you.